Sports Center.
I'm Doug Brown. Vikings tight end T.J. Hawkinson will get a contract extension. ESPN's Adam Schefter reports it's a 4-year deal worth $68.5 million, the biggest contract ever for a tight end. Dolphins running back Jeff Wilson Jr. goes on IR today with injuries to his midsection and fingers. He'll be out at least 4 games. Chiefs defensive lineman Chris Jones is still holding out, hoping for a new contract. But the team is still hoping he'll be ready to play in the season opener next Thursday night against the Lions. ESPN's Booger McFarland.
The Kansas City Chiefs cannot win the Super Bowl without Chris Jones. I don't care how good Patrick Mahomes is. I understand the hold up a little bit in Kansas City because you got their other 2 best players in Mahomes and Kelsey that are basically kind of on team-friendly deals. Well, Chris Jones is saying, hey, I don't want a team-friendly deal.
Booger McFarland. Chris Getz is the new senior VP and GM of the White Sox. He takes over for Ken Williams and Rick Hahn, who were fired last week. The White Sox have won only 3 postseason games in the last 18 years.
Do you own or rent your home? Sure you do. Fortunately, Geico makes it easy to bundle your home and car insurance. It's a good thing, too, because having a home is hard work. Go to geico.com, get a quote, and see how much you could save. Geico.com. Easy.
In the heart of Beer City, USA, 2 men, 1 journey to create a sports show unlike any other. Unfiltered, raw, and honest. One of them played a soccer goalie opposite Ben Stiller. The other once scored 6 points on Steph Curry. These guys know their shit.
Let's go!
Tank Spencer, Jeremy Greene, the Sportsocracy. Presented by Ingles Supermarkets. Low prices, love the savings.
It is the Sportsocracy, and welcome into a Threadbare Thursday here on ESPN Asheville, 92.9 FM, 880 AM, and 1400. The Sportsocracy, heard everywhere on the iHeartRadio app, and we are seen everywhere on YouTube. Go to thesportsocracy.com, click the live video link, subscribe to the channel so you can join us in the chat. More important today than any other day, because it's your day to decide what issues get covered, what questions get answered. Throw them into the chat, and we will roll through them all throughout today's program, as we do every Thursday during the football season, and we have officially kickoff of the college football season. Well, at least for some teams. NC State playing tonight. Wake Forest also in action. And then you got that Utah-Florida game.
Woo!
Let's go! That's the highlight of the Thursday night action.
Highlight is it's beauty's in the eye of the beholder.
Well, it's two teams that you know. Right?
Yeah, it's not going to be pretty though. Oh, but Cam Rice is not playing. I don't care if it's Cam Newton. This is going to end badly for Florida.
Utah, the number 14 team in the country, I believe they are, and Florida.
It's not
number 50 something.
They're the number 12 team in the SEC.
I don't know about that low, but okay.
How many behind them?
I don't know.
You give me Vanderbilt and maybe Missouri
as the only 2 teams that are worse.
Other than
Florida
that,
this year? Wow,
they're not good.
Yeah.
And as a lifelong Florida State fan, I can only say. That's a shame.
Makes you very, very happy. Big news in the NFL today. Generational deal. The Minnesota Vikings making T.J. Hawkinson the highest paid tight end in the NFL. Let me repeat. T.J. Hawkinson is the highest paid tight end in the NFL after today's contract extension. 4 years, $68.5 million.
Oh, a fun game. How many 1,000-yard seasons does T.J. Hawkinson have?
None.
Same amount we do. 0. How many times has he played every game in a season?
Also none?
Twice.
Okay, twice.
I don't understand this. I told you, because you lost your mind when Minnesota traded for T.J. Hawkinson. Oh, he's so good.
Yeah.
No, he's talented. He's not special in any regard. I mean, this is a guy that other than the beginning of his run last year with the Lions, has averaged less than 11.5 yards a catch. He's not a seam stretcher. This is a bad team. And, yes, at this point, Minnesota is a bad team. I don't care how much you liked watching them on quarterback. You're grasping at straws. It's the best way I can say this.
Well, you're overpaying. I mean, you're overpaying
by a lot.
A guy that, like you said, he's good, but he's not great. He's definitely not worth more money than Travis Kelce.
Where does he fit? And I'm not talking about for fantasy football. I'm talking about in terms of sheer talent among tight ends. Where does he fall in?
I mean, I would say he's probably in the top 6 or 7.
Okay, would you take Travis Kelce over him? I'll start with the obvious.
Yeah.
Mark Andrews.
Yeah.
George Kittle.
Yeah.
Darren Waller.
Yeah.
Kyle Pitts.
Yeah.
Pat Freiermuth. I take Pat over. I hadn't even gotten to one that I doubted yet.
Yeah, I don't know about that one.
Dallas Goedert.
I don't know about that one.
I think him and
either.
Dallas Goedert are the same person.
Yeah.
So you're now paying top of the market money to he's a top 10 guy. Woo. Oh, by the way, he's hurt all the time. So to me, this is one of those deals that as soon as I saw the numbers, Tank and I have this fun game that we play of one of us sees a contract before the other one does. We play guess the numbers.
Mm-hmm.
How much did he get? He gets the years right practically every time.
Right. I went immediately 4 years, and I went with what I would feel would be a comfortable number of 48. That's $12 million a year. That seemed in the ballpark to me. To go $17.5 million a year for T.J. Hawkinson is very, very bold. And the thing that I question the most about it is, okay, he's 26-year-old tight end. Do you think you're going to get more out of him?
Well, when
That's
you give, this is the reason that I was just adamant against this deal when they made it, because you're just completely hijacked. You gave up a second-round pick to a division rival. What are you going to say? Mm-hmm. He comes to you and says, I want to be the highest-paid tight end in the league. What are you going to do to him? No? Yeah, you're already pot committed. And that's what I said when they did this, is it just doesn't make any sense to me because there's no end game. He came in and everybody talked about how good he was in Minnesota. No, he was good for a game in Minnesota. Other than that, he was the definition of average. It was his fewest yards per catch in any half season of his entire career. So that's what you get. To me, this is what you get when you're a Minnesota team that you felt like you were more than you were. You made a deal with a division rival, which to me, that should always tell you something. Mm-hmm. When somebody in your division looks at he was at the time 25 years old, player that they took in the top 10, and they go, no, it's fine. You can have him. You should really, but why? Why are you okay with that?
Right. And that was nothing to do with talent. That was nothing to do with who he was. It had all apparently to do with how much he wanted.
I don't agree with you that it was all the contract. I think Detroit looked at him and went, we got a lot of draft capital. We plan on drafting a tight end, which I heard very early. Mm-hmm. Even before they traded him, I was starting to hear they're going to look to make a move in another direction. And then Minnesota comes along like the pig to slaughter. Okay, there you go. Give us a second-round pick. We'll add another starter. And a year from now, you're going to have to pay him ludicrous amounts of money.
Yep. You took the swing and you missed. You thought you were relevant last year to get the, to get that, to get you over the hump, and it didn't work.
We didn't play this before the show. Mm-hmm. I just want to see how close you can come to this.
Okay.
In T.J. Hawkinson's career, he's played 4 years. Grand total, he's started 49 games, played in 57. How many catches does he have?
Ooh.
57 games in his career. top 10 draft pick.
I don't know. I'll go like 260.
Pretty close. 246.
Okay. All right.
All right. Yards. 4 years. Surely to God he's over 3,000 yards, right?
Yeah. I would think like 3,200.
He's not even close.
Really?
Just over 2,500.
Huh. Okay.
18 total touchdowns his entire career.
Mm-hmm.
So basically, you just made a guy who historically is a 61.5 catch, 650 yard, 4.5 touchdown tight end. That's the highest paid tight end in the league now. Who's making $3 million more than Travis Kelce, who might be the best player that's ever played this position ever. Bad teams do dumb things.
Yep. And this is a dumb thing that this bad team has done. Minnesota Vikings extending T.J. Hawkinson for 4 more years.
Good luck with that.
Let's go over to the YouTube chat. Get in on our Threadbare Thursday questions. And the first one that I saw was about a fantasy draft.
I was about to say there's been a lot of fantasy football questions so far.
Notorious B.I.G. Jeremy, I have the number 1 pick in my draft tomorrow. Who should I get?
For me, there's only 4 answers to that. And it really depends on what you're going to do as things unwind. If you're taking the best player on the board at a premier position, it's Justin Jefferson. If you want to play by the Jeremy theory, which is fun because you have a huge advantage at one position, it's Travis Kelce. You go running back, to me, it's either Christian McCaffrey or Bijan Robinson. The Chargers just have too many weapons to throw to at this point for me to trust Austin Eckler at 1.
Mm-hmm.
You know how I feel about Bijan Robinson because I don't think this team can throw to save their lives. And McCaffrey, that's the safe one when they realize that Brock Purdy's not good at football. Start throwing dump-offs. Christian McCaffrey becomes the focal point of the offense instead of one of the focal points. That's where I would go. For me, it would be Kelce, but I could understand going any of the 4.
Yeah, Kelce seems. I get the the need at the position. If we got a tight end, you want the number 1 tight end, but taking him number 1 just seems crazy to me. I mean, I would probably go with Christian or Bijan.
Alex S. said, Kelce's the best receiving tight end ever, but how dare you say he's the greatest pure tight end ever? He is. He is that.
Even as a blocker?
Just playing the position. He doesn't get the credit for putting his nose in there. Him and George Kittle are the only 2 high-end tight ends that do that.
Mm-hmm.
That position has completely changed. He does exactly what he is asked to do. And I would say at this point, the only 2 I would even really listen to would be Gronkowski and Tony Gonzalez.
I think.
And Kelsey's pushing really quick he's done it for longer.
Yeah.
Because Gronk didn't last that long. And Gonzalez, he was a good blocker, but he was never great.
Mm-hmm. I think he's a smidge above both of those guys.
I would
have
tend to
Gonzalez as my 3.
I tend to agree
because before we've gone through a generational tight end for a while now, right? Mm-hmm. And if he ever gets a quarterback, maybe Kyle Pitts falls into that category.
Well, Kyle Pitts is a special talent, and that's what I would say to Gronk is that Gronk spent his entire career with Tom Brady.
Mm-hmm.
You forget, not every year's been with Pat Mahomes. He became this guy with Pat. He was still really good before Pat showed up.
Yep. You're in the Sportsocracy. This is ESPN Asheville. It is a Threadbare Thursday. Get in on the YouTube chat to have your questions answered, your topics debated, all of it on the line today on a football kickoff Thursday. We're back counting down to kickoff. Let's look at today's 3 keys to premium pre-gaming with Beast Unleashed, presented by Monster Brewing. Number 1, beat the heat.
Unleash the beast with bold, familiar flavors, 0 caffeine, and 0 sugar.
Number 2, running the option.
There's 4 to choose from: White Haze, Peach Perfect, Scary Berries, and my personal favorite, Mean Green.
And number 3, at 6% ABV, Max Protect.
Always drink responsibly, and you must be 21 or over.
Beast Unleashed, available at your local retailer.
Attention, it's time for the morning announcements. Make sure your parents are aware of the Ingles Tools for Schools program and ask them to link their Ingles Advantage card to our school. Remember, you have to do it each year. Now please stand and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Rogue Combat Club, Asheville's home for comprehensive martial arts training, has a goal for our community, one that's stronger, more fit, and unwavers in its support of one another. Rogue Combat Club's instructors have competed at the highest levels and offer classes for everyone from young children to adults in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, Muay Thai, and wrestling. Rogue Combat Club classes can help you boost your self-confidence and self-defense skills while weeding out the egos and intimidation found at other gyms. Join today at roguecombatclub.com.
Cut. Let's try something fresh, like the new scratch-offs.
I got it. Tuesday. It's not Monday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. It's Tuesday.
Cut.
It's not Monday,
Aren't you a little old to be in a boy band?
There's nothing old about getting new tickets.
Well, you're right. Maybe we stick with the original track.
New tickets every first Tuesday of the month from the North Carolina Education Lottery. Must be 18 to play. Problem gambling helpline, 877-718-5543.
The annoying runny nose, the constant sneezing, the itchiness, and battle just to catch your breath. If you suffer from seasonal allergies, sinusitis, or nagging sinus congestion, there's a natural, easy-to-use solution that can help provide fast, drug-free relief. It's called Navage, and it uses powered suction to rinse your nasal passages in seconds. Millions of people use Navage daily to help provide relief from seasonal allergies and sinus congestion. Medications treat the symptoms, but Navage treats the problem at the source, flushing out the allergens and pollen trapped in your nose. Navage also helps wash out airborne bacteria, dust, dirt, and viruses quickly and painlessly, so you can get back to breathing clearly again. Say goodbye to sinus suffering and hello to better breathing with Navage. Navage is available at Walmart, Walgreens, Target, CVS, Rite Aid, and online at Navage.com. Navage, Navage. Clean nose, healthy life.
Right now at Wendy's, when you buy either a Dave's Single, Spicy Chicken Sandwich, Medium Frosty, or 10-piece nuggets, you can get another for just $1. Your dollar never tasted so good. So it's obvious what everyone will get, right?
Definitely nugs
Spicy
and
chicken
a Frosty.
sandwich, Dave's Single, and a Frosty for me.
And a Frosty. Okay, who said Frosty and a Frosty? Pick your obvious choice. Choose wisely. Choose Wendy's, buy one, get one for $1.
Limited time only. Price of participation may vary. U.S. Wendy's, valid for item of equal or lesser value. Cannot be combined in a combo or any other offer.
Now, sometimes it don't always work for an injury, but it practice makes a perfect.
You are in the Sportsocracy here on ESPN Asheville.
We started a whole argument in the chat about historical tight ends.
I love it. Who's getting props?
It's Gronk. Oh, Gronk's the greatest fault. I'm not telling you you're wrong. Just saying Travis Kelce's done this. He's pretty good too. Bill Buttigieg said we couldn't hold Gronk's jockstrap. That's insane to me. See, that's where you take the argument too far.
Right.
Like, if you want to say Gronk's better, I have no qualm with that. I will look at you and go, I disagree. Just by a hair. And I'm projecting what Kelce does for what I think is at least 5 more years of a career.
Mm-hmm.
Gronk and I are the same age. He's done.
Yeah.
Super done.
When you play that physical style type of ball that Gronk did of just catch it and run through brick wall after brick wall, obviously your years of the league are going to be a little limited. I mean, the guy broke his neck like 4 times.
Yes.
It's not hard to figure out. One has stability, the other one doesn't. Just, I mean, Gronk's years, his elite years in the league were unmatched by anybody, including Travis Kelce. But I do think you got to give the nod to Kelce for doing it longer and better. I mean, you might like that rough style, but I don't know. To me, Kelce is a more skilled catcher of the football than Rob Gronkowski was. And I love Gronk. He's number 2. That's not a bad place to be. It's like this is like arguing the LeBron Jordan thing all over again. Beauty is in the eye of the beholder, and we can all agree to disagree.
No doubt.
But don't say dumb things. Like Travis Kelce couldn't hold Rob Gronkowski's jock. That's just asinine. Going back to the YouTube comments here, we have another fantasy football question from Alex S. He says, after the first round, he feels like drafting early this year is much harder than drafting late. So what are some strategies that you'd go for in a 10 to 12 person league, like in the second, third, and fourth rounds, if you're drafting at the front end of the first round? So we're talking back end of the second, top of the third, back end of the fourth. What are your strategies there to make that easier?
Well, the big thing, and I said this in a TikTok that we put out, I guess it's been a couple weeks ago now, of you got to start treating this like it's the stock market. And I've developed a theory it's almost like counting cards. When you start seeing just a copious amount of running backs go the other way. No matter what happens, in every draft I've ever been in that's got more than 8 people in it, and yes, I have played an 8-team league. I'm not proud of it, but I did it one time.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody is killed at something. So you walk away and say, oh, I don't have any running backs. No, but you got like 8 receivers, which means somebody has like 8 running backs and no receivers. And then you two should meet and make a trade. I have never played in a fantasy football league that I didn't make a trade from the draft to week 1.
Mm-hmm.
Never. Because every year I go in with an intent, and by the time I'm done, I go, oh, I didn't do that well. And I have to try to fleece somebody else in a trade. Now, for what you can go in thinking, I either want an advantage at quarterback or tight end, period. Because there are a handful of high-end, top-end running backs. Then there's a drop off a cliff. And I would say everybody from about 11 to the mid-20s is the same. That's always the strategy I look at that people go in with of, oh, I'll just take whatever running back's there. Okay, that means you're taking the one that nobody wanted. Because, like, let's say you're picking at 2. Justin Jefferson goes 1, you take whoever, whether it's Kelce, whatever you did, and you come back around and say, I have to take a running back here. Every team in your league but you and one other has had 2 shots at the guy you're getting ready to take.
Right.
Means there's probably a wart there somewhere. That's why I found myself going Mahomes Kelce so often.
Mm-hmm.
I love the stack. Been doing that in DraftKings for as long as I can remember. It does work in season long as well. And then I figure out running backs. And to me, this is the easiest year to do that ever. And receiver is even easier because every team in the league has 2.
Right.
That are at least startable. It may not be a high side for you, but just start taking lottery tickets.
Mm-hmm.
Just like playing the lottery. One of them's going to hit. Now, you might be down $100 before you get one that hits for 20, but it's going to hit.
Okay, so back into the second round, I was just looking at the running backs that would be available. Say if you at the early part of the first round, say you did get one of those first 4 picks. I've been liking more and more going with the wide receiver. I've been trying to break myself of this, running back or nothing, or Travis Kelce or nothing, just to try to build a different kind of roster. Going wide receiver early and then filling the running backs late, I'm liking more and more how that looks.
Which ones are you adhering to the Sportsocracy Fantasy Football Kit? Mullet Band Canada and Georgia fan, available now for the low price of an entry into the battle for the belt.
I mean, I'm not following your playbook to a T, like loading up on the Jets running backs and the Chicago running backs and all of that late. I'm not necessarily taking that jump.
Well, you've had like 100 fantasy football drafts. I watched you have one last night.
You did?
I sat at the bar with Zach Sawyer from the Do Takes podcast, who will be joining us Sunday at the Village Porch.
Right.
Be there all day, whether you're in the drafts or not. Come on down, have a little fun with us.
But load up on like elite wide receivers and then go after guys that are being left behind, like Najee Harris. Or
the hate on him is dumb.
Ramondre Stevenson. Or
the hate on him is dumb.
Because these are guys that are just they're gonna have the ball in their hands all the time. And I get you may not like the yards per carry average, because that's what this is, right? Everybody watches Pittsburgh Steelers football and goes, Najee Harris only ran 3 yards a carry last year.
3.7, he had a foot injury. Oh, but Jalen Warren was so much better. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And watch what happens to that little feller if you give him 200-plus carries in a year.
Right. Aaron Jones is one that's on that list. Damian Pierce from the Houston Texans.
Damian Pierce is one of mine. Alexander Madison is one of mine.
4th round, Damian Pierce could end up being a top 10 running back just because of the workload that he's going to get with god-awful C.J. Stroud taking the snaps at quarterback.
I have Pierce on the low side at 18, and I hated everything on the Houston Texans offense.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, I definitely understand what you're saying with him.
Yeah, Miles Sanders, that's another one. I just keep beating that dead horse until he's going to, buck me off.
He's a weird one because he's being valued in ways that don't make a ton of sense to me.
Okay, what do you mean?
Oh, I mean, you're talking to a guy that has Miles Sanders in the top 12 of running backs in the NFL. And I still feel like some people are overvaluing him.
Okay.
He's good, but there is some risk.
Yes.
I'm seeing people treating him like he should be a late second, early third-round pick, and that's insane.
That's ill-advised.
Yes.
I can see the upside. I can see why you could convince yourself of that, and maybe if all of your league is just all in on the running backs and nobody's going outside a running back, then maybe. Like if you're in a crazy point per carry league or something like that, then and everybody loads up on running backs, I could see going Miles Sanders kind of that high. But in a regular draft, like a PPR standard no points per carry league, that doesn't make any sense. He's a 4th, 5th round guy.
We have our first one of these of the day.
I'm your huckleberry.
It's from Jason Trump. Who is the last quarterback you could live with? Obviously, Mahomes, Allen, Herbert, Hurts, Lamar, Trevor, Joe Burrow. That's on the high side.
The last one I can live with as my starter.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I've seen me wait around until 8 or 9 and get Tua. I mean, that's massive upside.
I would agree.
And I
have Tua in the top 10. I have Deshaun Watson in the top 10, and you can get both usually past the 7th round.
Yes. And I'll do that thing where you take Tua immediately.
Yes.
Like you take Tua, and then the next round when it comes back to you, take somebody with an upside of I don't know. I'm gonna say this name and you're gonna rankle at it. But like Daniel Jones.
I don't have Daniel Jones in my top 20.
Which is strange to me.
I don't like the offense.
But he was a top 10 quarterback last year.
Because he played in every game.
And you don't think he will this year?
I don't know.
You're just not taking the risk?
Well, see, for me, this is where, all right, I'm going to give you something that drives me absolutely crazy, and I'm going to use the one that you just said.
Okay.
All right, so I'm pulling up a list of fantasy scoring leaders from last year.
Yes.
All right, I'm going to look just at quarterback.
Okay.
Daniel Jones was quarterback 9.
Mm-hmm.
18.4 points per game. How many times did he break 20 points the entire year?
4.
5.
Okay.
3 of those times, he did it by less than 2 points. So he's fine, but you're at a disadvantage with him every single week. You'll catch that one random 36. Huzzah. I'm still down by 10 to 15 points to Patrick Mahomes. Mm-hmm. And I don't have the upside.
Right.
His greatest ability is his availability. By comparison, Justin Herbert. He finished 2 spots behind Daniel Jones in total points.
Mm-hmm.
He actually played one more game than Daniel Jones. He had some awful weeks. He also had 23, 24.5, 21, 28.8. He has higher side. So for me, I have Justin Herbert higher, and I think that's as bad as you'll ever see him be.
Mm-hmm.
So I would rather go somebody like, I'll use the one you said, Tua and Kirk Cousins and play the matchups.
There you go.
Or Geno Smith, Kirk Cousins. That's probably the lowest I could go without vomiting in my shoes.
Right.
But I would prefer to go Pat Mahomes and take Sam Howell late.
Okay.
I see myself doing that a lot.
You are in the Sportsocracy. This is ESPN Asheville, 92.9 FM, 880 AM and 1400, 330. We'll take a quick break. When we come back, it'll be time to get just a bit outside.
This is your Exergen Temporal Scanner weather forecast on ESPN Asheville.
After some big downpours this week, it looks like things do try to dry out here in western North Carolina as we head into the weekend. Already some lower humidity has pulled into town. 50s in the mountains tonight, 60 in the valley. Partly cloudy Friday, high of 79 degrees. Some upper 80s returning into the Labor Day forecast early next week for Monday and Tuesday. Going to be a warm stretch of weather next week for us. I'm meteorologist Scott Lariamore. That's the latest Weather Channel forecast.
This report is sponsored by Staples Stores. Staples has great prices on everything you need for back to school. Right now, a 24-pack of Crayola crayons and comp books are just 50 cents each, and select notebooks are just 35 cents each. In-store only, offer ends 9/16, limit 30. School on, save on at Staples.
BetOnline.net is your #1 information source for all your sports wagering info this football season. With all the up-to-the-minute stats, news, scores, and matchups. Get the latest game odds from college football to pro football at your fingertips with BetOnline.net on mobile. With real-time updates on stats, news, and odds. And not just football, we're your sports intel headquarters for everything happening during the busy fall season in sports. From baseball postseason to basketball to hockey. Head to the website today or use your mobile device to get in on the action. BetOnline, where the game starts.
To start the season, spray away stress. Get rid of grime. Clear the nerves. Do away with dirt and doubt. And lose the germs. For less worry and more wins. When you get to a clean slate, the possibilities are endless. Clorox. Start clean. Always use products as directed.
Gillette Intimate gives guys a gentle and easy shave on there. And around there. And even under there. Don't treat your groin like junk. Respect it with Gillette Intimate, the best a man can get. Buy now at a retailer near you.
For more information about contests on the station, log on to espnavl.com.
If cleanliness is next to godliness, look around the car right now. Is that very godly? Look, life comes at you fast, but so does WBNC Auto Detailing. They have the tools to make your interior look like it's coming off the showroom floor. You don't believe me? Check them out on Instagram. All that filth and years of stains disappear. WBNC Auto Detailing does full interior and exterior details with paint correction, and they do wax and ceramic coatings. Call WBNC Auto Detailing at 455-3700. Premium care with a Southern hospitality touch.
Tired of getting dinged by monthly fees on your checking account? You need Simple Checking from Home Trust Bank. With Simple Checking, you get all the essential checking services for free, including 100% online access and a free Visa debit card. It's everything you need from a checking account, but no hoops, no surprises, no monthly fees. Stop by today or call 800-627-1632. Simple Checking at Home Trust. Ready for what's next. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
I believe real estate isn't about properties. It's about people. I'm Clarissa Hyatt-Zach with eXp Realty, serving all of Western North Carolina. Navigating the home buying and selling journey can feel overwhelming at times, and that's why having an agent who cares about you and your needs is key. I'm a native of Western North Carolina, and I close over a home a week. I'm an expert in the market, pricing my sellers correctly to net you the most money, and working as a skilled negotiator for my buyers. Please give me a call today at 828-774-6343 to set up a complimentary market analysis.
Boy, you must be outside your mind.
The Sportsocracy.
Just a bit outside. He tried the corner and missed.
Back in the Ingles Studio on ESPN Asheville. NIL deals being thrown around all over college football, and if you got a name, you can make some money. Well, when you have a name like General Booty, you know, you can parlay that into some interesting campaigns. Well, General Booty, the Oklahoma quarterback, has signed a deal with Rock'em Socks. Apparently, it's an undergarment brand that is releasing not only General Booty socks, but also General Booty underwear.
General Booty.
That's right. Do you remember back in, I'm going to say this was like the early 2000s when I think it was called the Juicy brand came out, and the girls had Juicy written across their keisters.
Oh, yeah.
This is the same thing. And apparently it's for guys, which is
that's odd.
Strange. A little strange. But they've got a picture here of General Booty wearing his new brand of underwear. It's got like Oklahoma logos on the legs, on the front of them. They're like boxer briefs. And then on the back, in the block letters, like on the back of his jersey, across the keister, sizable like 4-inch letters, Booty.
Who's shocked that Tank thinks 4 inches is sizable? My story comes from Central Florida. I am a jerk. I'm just make them laugh. Central Florida kicks off their season tonight against the Kent State Golden Flashes. Oh, the look on his face of just pure defeat.
I hate you so much.
You should. I'm a jerk. They play Kent State tonight at FBC Morgan Stadium. Well, there's been a viral meme about Atlanta's food choices and how you can go to Mercedes-Benz Stadium for $20 and feed an entire family because Arthur Blank has kept the prices reasonable.
Yeah.
Well, apparently that's gotten to UCF. And now, not only have they lowered the prices of some of their menu items, now they every week have a menu item that is a tip of the cap to whoever they're playing. So tonight, they're playing Kent State, which is Midwestern school, so they have the donut burger. I don't know. I would have thought Skyline Chili, because Kent State's in Ohio, right?
Yes.
Spaghetti with chili on it. That's the Ohio thing, I would think. Next week, they play Villanova, so Philly cheesesteaks.
Okay.
Villanova's in Philadelphia.
All right.
They're going to have mini brisket sliders, which seems to be redundant. All sliders are mini. When they play Baylor, they'll also have brisket tacos when they play Houston. And then for West Virginia, it's pepperoni rolls, and Oklahoma, it's bacon cheese fries.
Pepperoni rolls?
Oh, they're delicious.
That's a West Virginia thing?
I don't think it's exclusively West Virginia doesn't really have a thing, at least one that I ever really knew about. I also have the culinary palate of a 6-year-old, so I mean, you know what I consumed? Beer. I think you already served that, so that's what I would have thought.
Okay, all right.
Get you something with 3 X's on it and serve it in a cup.
It is weird that would be the Ohio food, would be basically a Krispy Kreme burger.
Holt says that's a very West Virginia thing. It never struck me as okay, let me say it this way. It never struck me as an exclusively West Virginia thing.
Mm-hmm.
But again, you're talking to a man that has the culinary palate of a 6-year-old. So I enjoyed them quite a bit. I also was hammered for the vast majority of that. So.
Well, no kidding. What is it, though? Is it like a rolled up calzone or something?
I'll pull up a picture.
Okay.
It's easier. It's easier for me to show than explain.
Okay. I was just thinking there are a lot of people riding around in their cars right now that might not know what that is, and if we could describe it to them, it might help paint the picture of what a pepperoni roll is. But, you can.
See, I'm also a pizza roll guy. And to me, and I know I'm about to perturb somebody, I always thought a pizza roll was better. Because I want the sauce. Pepperoni roll doesn't really have that.
Okay. But there's like a dough with just
it's
the meat
very
inside
it's
of
very
it?
doughy.
Okay.
It's almost like a biscuit with cheese and pepperoni on the inside.
I like
it's
that.
Fine. It's fine. It just doesn't have marinara sauce in it. So
does it come with a dipping sauce? Like, can you does it come with a side of the sauce that you could dip it in? I guess?
I never saw it with a dipping sauce, but
all right. You are in the Sportsocracy. This is ESPN Asheville, and back to the chat here on a Threadbare Thursday. Your questions answered each and every Thursday throughout the football season. Go to thesportsocracy.com, click the live video link. subscribe to the channel so you can get those comments into the chat. Jonathan Welch, which are the top 5 worst teams in the NFL? So the bottom 5 teams in the NFL?
Arizona Cardinals, Houston Texans, Los Angeles Rams, Arizona Cardinals.
The Arizona Cardinals are that bad.
Hey, they're living by a very Jeremy philosophy, which is if you're going to be awful, be just genuinely terrible.
Yes.
Other than Indianapolis Colts have to be there somewhere.
Right. For me, it's Arizona, Los Angeles, Indianapolis, Las Vegas Raiders, and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers got to be in the bottom 5.
I heard Albert Breer say something earlier today about he had seen Indy early in camp, and they looked fine. There's nothing to write home about, but everything seemed to at least be functional.
Mm-hmm.
He saw them again last week and said, this doesn't even look like an NFL football team. It's disjointed. Nothing seems to be running smoothly. Now, the question is that because now you've turned it fully to Anthony Richardson, is it because you have a rookie head coach? Is it because of Jonathan Taylor? Is it a combination of all three?
Oh, yeah, all of them. It's all of them. Of course it's all of them. And I'd blame one guy for that, and it's Jim Irsay. Because he's now created this atmosphere that I don't think any of your players can trust you. Outside of maybe Anthony Richardson. And even Anthony Richardson can't trust him because you're sabotaging my chances here. You don't get too many chances to be a starting quarterback in the NFL. And Jim Irsay has just basically cut one of his quarterback's legs off by ostracizing his star player on offense. He's created this whole situation, and it's going to get horrid.
I would agree. I want to elaborate on that question a hair, because I would say most of us, if you're looking across the entire NFL, those are the handful of teams that you're going to hear the most often.
Yes.
So it's the Texans, the Colts, Cardinals, the Rams, your Bucks.
Mm-hmm.
Anybody else?
Raiders.
The Raiders don't belong down there. Your hatred of the Raiders. Your hatred of the Raiders and mine of Clemson. Good Lord. If I had $1 for every message I got in the last 24 hours from people from Clemson.
Mm-hmm.
And some of them are so nice. That's the funny thing, is that it's always the good Clemson fans that message me.
Mm-hmm.
I think the others are afraid that, grammatically I'm just going to slam them because I have to read it out loud to understand what you're trying to tell me. But, I mean, the ones that send me messages are so nice, but they always add that little dig that I'm like, like Florida State wants to be what Clemson is. If the universe had only existed for the last 10 years, I agree with you.
Yes.
It hasn't, and the last 40 years before that called and said, you still got quite a ways to catch up. I'm just saying.
Mm-hmm.
Before you start considering yourself a benchmark organization in this here college football.
But none of that matters, right?
100% it matters.
No.
Did you drink a lot before this show? Why do you think Alabama's so good? They were god-awful for 15 years.
Mm-hmm.
Why were they so good?
Because Nick Saban came to town.
But why did he take the job? Because the job came open, and Nick went, yep, that's a Hallmark organization. I can turn them around.
Mm-hmm.
Florida State's the same thing.
Okay.
They've had their pick of whatever young coach they wanted both times since Jimbo Fisher left. And you want to include that there too.
Mm-hmm.
I think Clemson would do that same thing right now. Hire wrong one time. See what happens. Yeah, there's a difference there. It's a total aside. I didn't say that to change the topic.
Sorry,
I only said it to just, okay, like, you've been very good for a long time. I got it. Just 1970, the 70s, 80s, 90s, and 2000s called and went scoreboard. It's all I'm trying to say.
That's all he's trying to say. All he's trying to say is we were good a long time ago, and we
we're
don't
good
wish
again.
that you were good.
We're good again, and we'll see you in Death Valley in 3 weeks. That's all that's it. End the message, repeat the line. 4 weeks.
Ooh, you got a lot riding on that game.
Yeah, I do. And you know what?
I didn't even mean monetarily.
I have nothing on it monetarily. Don't bet on your own team. That's stupid. That's a way to really screw up a weekend.
Okay.
Unless you want to bet against them, which is you got to do it. You got to be very specific of how you do it. Because there's nothing worse than you bet against your team, they cover, and still lose. Yeah. That's just walking over. That's just playing Rochambeau yourself. Like, oh, I just keep getting kicked in the – and it's not great. Anyway, if there was a team that could break into that bottom 5 in the NFL, who is it?
The Denver Broncos.
That was one of the ones that I was looking at.
The Atlanta Falcons.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
You don't think they have a safer floor than that?
No, because I think if everything goes perfectly for you, you might win 9 games.
But everything goes bad. How many do you win?
4.
Okay. A challenge accepted.
You win 4 games.
I've looked at this schedule pretty in depth.
Yeah.
They play the Panthers twice.
Mm-hmm.
They play your Bucks twice.
Mm-hmm.
They play the Packers in Atlanta.
Mm-hmm.
They play the Texans. They play the Titans.
Mm-hmm.
They play the Colts. You're telling me you see a path that schedule wins 4 games?
Yeah.
I'm not sure that Clemson couldn't win 4 games against what I just said.
You know they couldn't. Stop that.
Yeah, I just do it to incite people.
The Carolina Panthers, I could very well see an easy path where things go well for them and horribly for the Atlanta Falcons. The Bucks are no shoe-in for Atlanta. That's never an easy game. Even when you were good. Even when you were a Super Bowl team, that wasn't an easy game. Division games are very tight, and it does not matter. What you throw out the records, as they always say, because they're just different. I'm not saying that's what Atlanta's going to do, but they're one of my candidates.
They're not really one of mine. The teams I was looking at, Minnesota is one. I could see a path that this year just goes horribly off the rails for Minnesota.
You could.
Because I think you're pretty clearly the worst team in your own division.
I do not.
Who?
Green Bay. Green Bay and Minnesota are way closer, I think, than you want to admit. If Jordan Love is as bad as we think he is, which he looked fine in the preseason, or he looked good in the preseason, I'll give him that.
All right, let's play a game.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to name a position group. You tell me of those 2 teams, which one is better? Running backs.
We can skip this. It's wide receiver, and that's it.
Because it's Green Bay. End of message. It's wide receiver. You think Minnesota's better than Green Bay at wide receiver?
Yes.
Justin Jefferson is the one.
Mm-hmm.
The next 5 play for the Green Bay Packers, just to be perfectly clear.
Okay.
So that's hard for me to say, oh, it's clearly Minnesota. No, you got the best 1. Then we get to 2, and this gets ugly real fast.
Mm-hmm. Tight end. They got him there, too.
Not by as much as you want them to. I like
Josiah
Luke Musgrave.
DeGuara?
Luke Musgrave.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. They drafted 2 of them in the first 4 rounds.
Yeah,
Luke Musgrave and Tucker Kraft.
Yeah, I get you.
Yeah, both guys that I liked a lot.
Okay. And
then defensively, it's just a complete cheese wash of we're better than you at everything.
Sure.
So, yeah, for me, it's Minnesota, and it's pretty clearly Minnesota, actually. They're a team I could see. I mean, I'm just looking at the schedule. They play Tampa Bay. They have not one more game that I could see them even possibly winning outside of playing the Panthers until November.
Who are we talking about?
Minnesota.
Okay.
So they start with the Bucks. They go at the Eagles, Chargers, at the Panthers, Chiefs, at the Bears, 49ers, at the Packers, at the Falcons. Yeah, you're not winning more than 2 of those games. And one of them, you're going to need a small miracle. They're not good.
Okay.
And this season's going to go horribly badly. Did you have any others that, we don't talk about them? Tennessee's another one that was on my list.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think Mike Vrabel allows that to happen.
I don't either.
And I'm going to tell you something about on the Minnesota side of this. You encouraged me to watch that quarterback documentary.
Yeah.
When you walked away from that, did you have any opinions about Kevin O'Connell?
No.
I did.
What did you have?
They weren't positive.
Really?
Not nary a one of them was
why?
positive. I'm going to use the Bill Buttigieg line on you. I hate the things you say. I hate how you say them, and I hate when you say them. I don't know. I just walked away from him going, you don't sound like an NFL head coach to me. I want fiery and not Johnny Rah-Rah, but I want somebody that can get in your face. It was when it really started to become apparent to me was after I think it was after they got killed by the Cowboys. And he just kind of looks at Kirk Cousins and goes, well, got smoked today. Guess we'll try to be better next week. And I went, that's not what I want to hear a coach say at all.
What do you want your coach to do? Lose his mind?
Yeah, probably.
Yell and scream and throw things in the locker room?
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, I don't. I mean, sure I can get behind
40
that guy.
40 embarrassed on national television. Yeah, I don't want you to go, oopsie poopsie. That doesn't do much for me.
Right. And maybe that was the private reaction he had. You don't know. Maybe he reserves that for he doesn't want to show the guys how much it gets to him. I don't know what his shtick is.
So what do you say? He goes home and yells at his dog? That makes me like him even less.
Probably. I don't know.
Don't yell at Fluffy. Fluffy didn't put together that god-awful offensive game plan.
But there's also that thought of, well, you know, when my quarterback plays horribly, what do we always tell them? Short memory, right? Get back out there and do it again. And maybe that's Kevin O'Connell as being a former quarterback in this league. Maybe he feels that way about his. I don't know. I watched
get it. I just walked away from it and went, man, Kevin O'Connell just doesn't do anything.
Yeah, I watched it and I thought he was absolutely fine.
Oh, and Patrick Mahomes' wife, her voice is at an octave that only dogs and things that really make me angry can hear.
Yeah, it's not good.
Every time she spoke, I think I liked Pat Mahomes just a little bit more. Like, oh, God bless your soul.
Every time I saw Patrick Mahomes on that, I think I liked him a little bit more because he was always just kind of stuck. Like, you could tell this guy's all about his family. He wants to be at home, all about his kids, all about his marriage, all that kind of stuff. Like, but when she speaks,
the wife,
he's
and the brother,
got that look on his face like, I love you. I'm not sure why I love you, but I love you, and I'm going to do whatever I have to do just so I don't have to have my eardrums pierced anymore.
Yeah. I'm going to go yell in the garage for a while.
Oh, Jeremy has bangers coming up next here on ESPN Asheville. He'll set you up for games tomorrow and just kind of prep you for the cavalcade of madness that is going to be bangers tomorrow. Coming up next, bangers.
Are you Beer City's best fantasy football player? Your chance to prove it is back. The Sportsocracy's battle for the belt is back for year 2 with 2 ways to win. Our standard contest and the new Eliminator Challenge for the most hardcore of football fans. Play fantasy football with us every week of the NFL season and compete for a cause with proceeds benefiting Eblen Charities St. Nicholas Project. Register today at thesportsocracy.com and take your shot at the title of Beer City's fantasy football champion.
Attention, it's time for the morning announcements. Make sure your parents are aware of the Ingles Tools for Schools program and ask them to link their Ingles Advantage card to our school. Remember, you have to do it each year. Now please stand and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Real estate isn't about properties, it's about people. I'm Clarissa Hyatt-Zach with eXp Realty, your native realtor serving all of Western North Carolina. I will work hard for you, and I believe in doing the right thing every time. I market each of my listings to reach out-of-town buyers. I use a professional photographer and drone video on every single listing, as well as collaborate with agents across the country to find your buyer. Check me out online at clarissasellswnc.com or give me a call at 828-774-6343. It would be my pleasure to assist you through the real estate process.
To some, this might sound like a typical family dog. But at Dog Chow, we know that for a veteran suffering from PTSD, this could be the sound of life-saving therapy.
Thanks, Betty.
That's why we've made it our mission to connect every military hero in need with a canine hero of their own. To learn about the simple ways you can help Dog Chow in our mission, visit dogchow.com/veterans.
Right now at Wendy's, when you buy either a Dave's Single, Spicy Chicken Sandwich, Medium Frosty, or 10-piece nuggets, you can get another for just $1. Your dollar never tasted so good. So it's obvious what everyone will get, right?
Definitely nugs
Spicy
and
chicken
a Frosty.
sandwich,
Dave's Single and a Frosty
for me.
and a Frosty. Okay, who said Frosty and a Frosty? Pick your obvious choice. Choose wisely. Choose Wendy's, buy one, get one for $1.
Limited time only. Price of participation may vary. U.S. Wendy's, valid for item of equal or lesser value. Cannot be combined in a combo or any other offer.
The iHeartRadio All Access free preview is coming. Listen to any song on demand. Unlimited skips, even download your faves and listen offline. Experience true freedom. The iHeartRadio All Access free preview starts Monday. Download the free iHeartRadio app now. Free never sounded so good.
If this were a Reese's TV ad, you'd be staring at a Reese's peanut butter cup. And sure, my voice is peanut buttery smooth, but still, you need to see the peanut butter cups, right? No? I can really just say Reese's and you'll go get some? Okay, Reese's. 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 Really working, actually. Reese's. Reese's. I'm on to something. Reese's. Reese's. Reese's.
Spring in the South means the return of Atlanta Braves baseball.
There's a liner out towards center field. It will lay down. Here comes Ronald. Braves win it.
The 2023 Braves load up for another huge season.
The Braves play here on ESPN Asheville.
Coffee closes on.
Get them the money. Then when you get the money, you get the power.
That watch costs more than your car.
Then when you get the power, then you get the win.
It's the official first day of college football. I've already given you the picks for tonight. Take UConn plus the number. NC State wins. Take Minnesota to row the boat over Nebraska. And, of course, the big one, Utah smokes Florida. But we got games tomorrow night, too, and you need enough time to put some wagers on those. This is Greene on Greene, brought to you by Ingles Markets. Low prices, love the saving. Miami is a 16.5-point favorite at home against, well, Miami. That's dumb. Miami of Ohio is not a horrible mid-major team, but they're fine. This is just adamant disrespect to a Miami team that added a lot of transfers, added a lot of talent, and they're at home. Give me the Hurricanes minus 16.5. I don't think this game is close for a second. Louisville is a 7.5-point dog at Georgia Tech. I'm not going to tell you Louisville won't win this game. There's just a real belief in Louisville that I don't understand. Brian Brom does not run the football. What did Louisville do well yet last year? Run the football. Now they're bringing in a vet quarterback in Jack Plummer from Purdue. He wasn't good either. So I could see a lot of growing pains early for Louisville. I'll say they win, but give me Georgia Tech plus the 7.5. And finally, my favorite underdog of the entire week, Hawaii is a 3.5-point dog at home against Stanford. I don't get that at all. Stanford doesn't care about football, and it's obvious. Hawaii showed last week against an SEC team in Vanderbilt that they can hang tight with a Power 5 school, especially a really bad one. Give me Hawaii plus the 3.5. They win outright. For more, find us on all the social medias at The Sportsocracy. And as always, love the savings with Ingles. Love the winnings with me. Mull it out.
This is your Exergen Temporal Scanner weather forecast on ESPN Asheville.
After some big downpours this week, it looks like things do try to dry out here in western North Carolina as we head into the weekend. Already some lower humidity has pulled into town. 50s in the mountains tonight, 60 in the valley. Partly cloudy Friday, a high of 79 degrees. Some upper 80s returning into the Labor Day forecast early next week for Monday and Tuesday. Going to be a warm stretch of weather next week for us. I'm meteorologist Scott Lauriamore. That's the latest Weather Channel forecast.
This report is sponsored by Staples Stores. Staples has great prices on everything you need for back to school. Right now, a 24-pack of Crayola crayons and comp books are just 50 cents each, and select notebooks are just 35 cents each. In-store only. Offer ends 9/16. Limit 30. School on, save on at Staples.
Right now at Wendy's, when you buy either a Dave's Single, Spicy Chicken Sandwich, Medium Frosty, or 10-piece nuggets, you can get another for just $1. Your dollar never tasted so good. So it's obvious what everyone will get, right?
Definitely nugs
Spicy
and
chicken
a Frosty.
sandwich,
Dave's single and a Frosty for me.
and a Frosty.
Okay, who said Frosty and a Frosty? Pick your obvious choice. Choose wisely. Choose Wendy's, buy one, get one for $1.
Limited time only. Price of participation may vary. U.S. Wendy's, valid for item of equal or lesser value. Cannot be combined in a combo or any other offer.
Score big on sleep and savings during Mattress Firm's best sale of the year. Save up to $700 on select Tempur-Pedic adjustable beds and get a $300 instant gift. Good towards pillows and more.
From the Ingles Studios, this is ESPN Asheville, WPEK, W225CJ Fairview, WMXF Waynesville, and iHeart Radio Station.
I'm Doug Brown. Vikings tight end TJ Hawkinson resets the market for his position. ESPN's Adam Schefter reports he'll get a 4-year extension worth $68.5 million. Pro Football Hall of Famer and longtime Cowboys executive Gil Brandt has died. Brandt was the vice president of player personnel for 28 years in Dallas, including 20 straight winning seasons and 2 Super Bowl titles. He was 91. After missing the college football playoff last year, ESPN's Kirk Herbstreit says, watch out for Alabama.
Whatever happens that year, go back and look at the history the following year. What happens when there's a motivated Alabama team? Be very leery of Alabama and the chip on the shoulder that they're going to play with this year.
Kirk Herbstreit, the Crimson Tide open against Middle Tennessee Saturday night. 5 players waived by the Angels this week are now on other rosters. Pitchers Lucas Giolito, Matt Moore, and Reynaldo Lopez with the Guardians. Outfielder Hunter Renfroe and pitcher Dominic Leone with the Mariners.
Summer Bonanza means more business in the fall months. Hire right with Indeed. Their integrated solution lets you schedule and conduct video interviews all in one place. Finding your next great hire has never been this easy. Get hiring at Indeed.com/credit.
He's a degenerate gambler.
You are a smelly pirate hooker.
And he's cheaper than oxygen.
He's useless.
But somehow, they make it work. Jeremy Greene, Tank Spencer. There's no holding back in the Sportsocracy, presented by Ingles Supermarkets.
And welcome back into the Sportsocracy. It is ESPN Asheville 92.9 FM, 880 AM, and 1400. The Sportsocracy, heard everywhere on the iHeartRadio app, and we're seen everywhere on YouTube. Go to thesportsocracy.com, click the live video link, subscribe to the channel so you can join us in the chat on this Threadbare Thursday. But we take a break, as we do every Thursday at 4 o'clock during the football season. Of course, with the time change, the schedule changing for the show here. Only 2 weeks that we're going to be able to have Jones Angel on here at 4 o'clock, but we shall shift the schedule when we move to 12 to 3 every weekday afternoon here on ESPN Asheville. But always, you can hear Tar Heels football and basketball here on ESPN Asheville. And Jones Angel, the voice of the Tar Heels, joining us now by phone and ready for the big one in Charlotte on Saturday night. You got North Carolina, South Carolina, ACC versus SEC, and the big Dukes Mayo Classic. Are you more excited for the game, Jones, or are you more excited to see the Duke Mayo mascot? That's the real question.
That's right. We're all on the edge of our seat to see the mascot. No, exciting. Great to be with you again, Tank.
Yes, sir.
Excited for the season, and what a way to start, right? I mean, these are two teams in Carolina and South Carolina that I think both these teams feel like they can have good years. They feel like they have done some positive things here, building towards this upcoming season, but now they want to take that next step, and they're going to each have a pretty stern challenge to get things started. And so for Carolina, certainly the Tar Heels want to be a little bit more like the team that was 9-1 through its first 10 games last season compared to the one that lost its last 4. And South Carolina would sure like to look a lot more like the team that finished so strong, beating Tennessee and Clemson in the final 2 weeks of the regular season a year ago, compared to the one that was, right around a 500 team before that. So both these teams, again, I think they've got good quarterbacks. I think they've got good teams, and they do have some question marks that they'll have to start figuring out, but they'll both know a lot more about themselves after Saturday night.
All right, let's start with the major question marks for the North Carolina Tar Heels. Drake May, obviously not a question mark. We all know the talent that the kid has. He's on every, preseason Heisman watch list and all of that, preseason player of the year. All of those. The question I have is, who's he throwing to?
Yeah, it's a valid question, and I think for a couple reasons. Number one, obviously the Tar Heels lost their top two receivers from a season ago. I mean, Josh Downs and Antoine Greene were both really high-level players. Both of them are going to be playing on Sundays here coming up this fall, and Downs in particular had been such a weapon for Carolina the last couple of seasons. I mean, remember, he didn't play 3 games last year and still finished with 94 catches and more than 1,000 yards in the season. And so he was a high-level All-America type of player. And so to be able to fill those gaps is not easy. So that's point one. Point two, of course, is all the ambiguity surrounding Tez Walker and the transfer from Kent State that Carolina felt like could come in and be one of, if not the top option for the Tar Heels at the wide receiver position. And if people have been following this saga, it's something where his eligibility is still in question. I do not disagree with the NCAA's desire, Tank, to cut down or limit the amount that two-time transfers or the amount of two-time non-graduate transfers. I think you've seen that too much here recently. A lot of that, of course, stems off the COVID year and trying to figure out the best way to manage rosters and the best way to allow kids to have opportunities following that really unique situation. I don't disagree with their desire to do that. What I do disagree with is the lack of common sense in this particular instance. And I'm sure you guys have talked about it over the last several weeks, but the fact that Tez Walker's first year at North Carolina Central was canceled. He did not play football there at all, and there was some uncertainty whether at that level of football it would be played in 2021 as well. The fact that Tez Walker then went to Kent State, was a terrific player, transferred to Carolina and enrolled at Carolina before these changes were made by the NCAA. I think that has to be taken into consideration. The fact that there are unique personal and familial circumstances that have to do with Tez Walker's individual situation and with his mental health. I think those are things, if we say they're important, then we should treat them like they're important. And so there's some unique circumstances with this particular instance that makes you would hope that common sense would take over. But so far we have not seen that. And so due to the fact that Carolina is unclear as to whether or not Tez Walker will play, that's just another level of your question. I think Kobe Paysour is someone that has proven himself in limited opportunities. That can be a big-time player for Carolina. I mentioned Downs earlier. The 3 games that Downs did not play last year, Paysour had 20 catches, nearly 300 yards, and 3 touchdowns. So he proved that he could play when given that opportunity. Gavin Blackwell, J.J. Jones, these are players that have played a lot of snaps for Carolina, and they've been solid players. Can they take that next step to be a really consistent, high-level, ACC-level receiver? Nate McCollum has proven that, a transfer from Georgia Tech. He had 60 catches last year for the Jackets. He's somebody that the Tar Heels now on their roster can be important. And then there's some young players, Andre Greene and Doc Chapman, each redshirt freshmen, true freshmen like Christian Hamilton and Chris Culliver. These are talented players. When will they be ready to contribute on a consistent basis? And then finally, the tight end position, I do think Carolina's got one of, if not the best group of tight ends in the conference, and I would put them in that conversation with anybody in the country, where they have 3 tight ends in Kamari Morales, Bryson Nesbitt, and John Copenhaver, who have all had success, have all proven to be ACC top-level threats at that position, and guys that I think Carolina will have to use to its advantage. So, no, there is not Josh Downs, and there's not Antoine Greene right now, but I think Carolina has plenty of options, particularly if Tez Walker is available. They have plenty of options that can catch the football.
As you said, loaded up at tight end. That running back room there's a lot of talent. There's a lot of experience because British Brooks, I think he was in his 14th year at North Carolina, he's still hanging around. And I feel like he's a guy he's been sidelined so much that
yeah.
I hope he gets his chance to show his skills in his graduate year.
It's an interesting group because I think Carolina has 5 players there, and Brooks and George Pettaway and Omarion Hampton and Caleb Hood and Elijah Greene, who have all in moments shown that they're really good players. And some of those guys have had more moments than others, depending on how old they are or how many opportunities they've had. But all of them have shown something. The question is which, and I add British Brooks in this conversation, the question is which one of them can show it for an entire season. Omarion Hampton, I think right now Omarion Hampton and British Brooks are probably the top 2 atop that depth chart. But, British Brooks has struggled to stay healthy here recently, and that's not his fault. He took a nasty injury in the preseason last year. He played very well at the end of the season 2 years ago when given his chance. Is he going to be able to step into that role for an entire year? Omarion Hampton started the first 4 games last year for Carolina. Remember, he became the first Tar Heel to rush for more than 100 yards in his first game since Choo-Choo Justice. So, Omarion Hampton, he's shown it. But then he a little banged up, and he tailed off as the year went along and then was not heavily involved at the end of the season. Elijah Greene was heavily involved at the end of the season. He started the last 5 games for the Tar Heels a year ago, but never went over 100 yards. So you can kind of go through this case by case. Caleb Hood has not been able to stay healthy. George Pettaway, is he big enough to be an every down back? Or is Carolina going to find specific ways and special situations to get him involved because he is so dangerous, particularly with the ball in his hands in space? And so you have all these different options, Tank, but, which one or ones, because I do think in modern football at this point, rarely do you just have one running back. Which 2 or 3 of these guys are going to say, hey, you know what? I deserve to be somebody who consistently gets chances and will produce. And so there is not a lack of option. There's not a lack of talent. But what Carolina would like to get is some consistency as far as knowing who gives them the best chance.
Down the stretch of the season, the defense was a big question mark last year. Now,
I laughed, Tank. That was kind of you to say. The defense has been a question mark for seasons now for Carolina.
Oh, me. I'm trying to be as nice as possible.
No, I appreciate it, and it comes down to this. And Mac Brown's talked about this, and he's right. Carolina wants to go from good to great, and Carolina's been good ever since Mac Brown came back. Carolina has been a good football team, but it hasn't been a great football team. And one of the reasons for that is the defense just hasn't been good enough. And so that to me, along with the offensive line and just the ability to be physical up front for Carolina offensively, that offensive line and then the defense are the 2 big questions to me. Can the defense be disruptive? Carolina played 14 games last year. The Tar Heels had 17 sacks. 17 in 14 games played. They had 51 tackles for loss as a defense in total in 14 games played. That's not enough. Offenses are too good now. They're too skilled. The schemes are too good. The rules are too helpful to the offensive side. You can't be a good defense if you just let the offense play. You've got to disrupt what they are doing in some way. You have to make it difficult for them. You have to force them into mistakes. And Carolina has been unable to do that here recently. And I think that's why, even though I think Carolina has really good coaches on the defensive side, I think the Tar Heels have good personnel on that side, but you haven't seen it on the field in a consistent basis. There have been games and moments and things like that, but it hasn't been a consistent thing. And for Carolina to get where the Tar Heels want to be, they have to take steps forward on that side.
Yeah. A couple of years ago, it was Cedric Gray becoming the new big name on the defense. And then last year, I think he really, Power Eccles fully announced his presence with authority, I guess we could say. If you had to pick one, what's the next name that you're going to go, oh, that kid is something special?
Yeah, one is Kamen Rucker, who I don't think is a new name, but I certainly think he has been such a consistent player for Carolina over the last couple of seasons. Because even with the conversation we just had about Carolina's defense, that there's still been. Cedric Gray, he had 145 tackles last year. That's a ton of tackles. I mean, that he had the most tackles of anybody in the Power Five. Both total and solo tackles. So, there are some pieces there. I do think Carolina has some young guys in the secondary that they're excited about that maybe you don't know a ton about. Marcus Allen started the last couple of games last year at the cornerback position, got kind of thrown into there and held himself up pretty well in that scenario. There's a young guy, redshirt freshman named Tayon Holloway, who Carolina's been the coaches have been really excited about at that corner spot. He's somebody who redshirted last year due to injury, but that they feel like can be a really big factor for them. And Carolina's got some, as everybody does, Carolina has some transfers on that side of the ball that I think can be effective for them. Elijah Huzzy comes over from East Tennessee State, where he was a terrific player at the FCS level. Can he take that step up and be a big-time player at the FBS level? The coaches love his instinct and his ball skills as a defensive player. Amari Gaynor from Florida State comes over and can give Carolina some depth at that, what Carolina calls the jack position, which is that kind of hybrid defensive end or outside linebacker spot, along with Kamen Rucker. Can those two provide you a really solid rotation there and be guys that can disrupt the quarterback? And then, Tank, there are plenty of familiar names who have been good, and it would be exciting to see them become even better than good. And that's guys like Jahvaree Ritzie and Miles Murphy and Des Evans and, guys, Gio Biggers in the secondary, guys who have played a lot of football and have been solid players, but that at this point you'd really love them to see them take that next step and be all-conference type of guys that then just make your defense take a step forward to a different level.
Yep. All right, we've got the first game of the regular season. Saturday night, Bank of America Stadium. It is the Dukes Mayo Classic. 7:30 kickoff. The pregame will start here on ESPN Asheville at 6:30 with Jones, Angel, and the rest of the crew. Cannot wait to get this season underway. It is every year. Every year that Mac has been back, especially, has been when is the team going to make that next step? As you said, when are they going to go from good to great? And I think they may have the potential to do that this year, but this schedule is not easy. And just looking down the schedule, you can see, just a small handful of games that you should be easily favored in. But then the rest of them could be coin tosses. So it's going to be fun.
Yeah, and we'll know a lot about the Tar Heels even in this first month. Their first 4 games, South Carolina on a neutral field, and then Appalachian at home, Minnesota, who's, you probably don't think a lot about, but a very solid, very good team from the Big Ten, in Chapel Hill, and then a trip to Pittsburgh. And so those are 4 legit big-time ball games to start the year. And so a month into the season, I think the Tar Heels have a pretty good feel for where they are.
Yep. You are in the Sportsocracy. This is ESPN Asheville. Jones, we'll catch up with you next week.
Sounds good, Tank. Talk to you soon.
Again, this Saturday night, 6:30 here on ESPN Asheville, North Carolina, South Carolina in the Dukes Mayo Classic. We'll be right back here on ESPN Asheville.
This is your time saver traffic on the new ESPN Asheville.
Any delays? 240 westbound between Charlotte Street and Montford Avenue. 26 west and eastbound slow between Airport Road and the Blue Ridge Parkway. Near Avery Creek Boulevard Road northbound approaching Long Shoals Road is slow. Sweeten Creek Road northbound approaching Mills Gap Road is slow. In North Asheville, Merriman Avenue northbound at Edgewood Road, traffic is slow. In Spartanburg County, 26 westbound, stop and go between the South Carolina-North Carolina line and West Mill Street. I'm Lyndon Fuel with your Time Saver Traffic.
This report is sponsored by Staples Stores. Staples has great prices on everything you need for back to school. Right now, a 24-pack of Crayola crayons and comp books are just 50 cents each, and select notebooks are just 35 cents each. In-store only. Offer ends 9/16, limit 30. School on, save on at Staples.
BetOnline.net is your #1 information source for all your sports wagering info this football season. With all the up-to-the-minute stats, news, scores, and matchups. Get the latest game odds from college football to pro football at your fingertips with BetOnline.net on mobile. With real-time updates on stats, news, and odds. And not just football, we're your sports intel headquarters for everything happening during the busy fall season in sports. From baseball postseason to basketball to hockey. Head to the website today or use your mobile device to get in on the action. BetOnline, where the game starts.
Cut. Let's try something fresh like the new scratch-offs.
I got it. Tuesday. It's not Monday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. It's Tuesday.
Cut.
It's not Monday,
Aren't you a little old to be in a boy band?
There's nothing old about getting new tickets.
Well, you're right. Maybe we stick with the original track.
New tickets every first Tuesday of the month from the North Carolina Education Lottery. Must be 18 to play. Problem gambling helpline, 877-718-5543.
Gillette Intimate gives guys a gentle and easy shave on there. And around there. And even under there. Don't treat your groin like junk. Respect it with Gillette Intimate. The best a man can get. Buy now at a retailer near you.
If cleanliness is next to godliness, look around the car right now. Is that very godly? Look, life comes at you fast, but so does WBNC Auto Detailing. They have the tools to make your interior look like it's coming off the showroom floor. You don't believe me? Check them out on Instagram. All that filth and years of stains disappear. WBNC Auto Detailing does full interior and exterior details with paint correction, and they do wax and ceramic coatings. Call WBNC Auto Detailing at 455-3700. Premium care with a Southern hospitality touch.
At Ingles, we're proud to sponsor area athletics at all levels. Whether we're building new fields for T-ball, celebrating Friday night rivals, televising college basketball games, bringing the Fan Fest to semi-pro soccer, or taking you out to the ball game at your minor league park. We're here for the fans. No one gets the dedication to the home team like you guys. And we've got all the sports you can handle. It's all in the bag. Ingles. Low prices. Love the savings.
The best season of the year is here.
Tailgate season.
Monster Brewing presents this season's MVP.
The Beast Unleashed.
With 4 bold, familiar flavors.
With 0 caffeine and 0 sugar.
Beast Unleashed is your new pregame ritual.
With white haze, mean green, peach perfect, and scary berries, there's a flavor for every fan.
The Beast
Unleashed.
6% alcohol by volume. Unleashed responsibly. Must be 21 or over. Beast Unleashed. Available at your local retailer.
The Sportsocracy.
These guys are a f***ing disgrace.
It's ESPN Asheville, 92.9 FM, 880 AM, and 1400 and... it didn't work. There we go.
Who's gonna break the news? Who's gonna break the news? Who's gonna break the news?
Somebody asked if the little dance you did on Facebook was the same one that you do when the news breaks. No, the one you did on Facebook was a lot more scarring.
Yes. Well, I mean, it's a deeper groove.
It's from Ian Rappaport. The New England Patriots have a new quarterback.
Yeah!
And his name is Matt Corral.
No. I don't want to. No.
Yeah! Let's go! New England Patriot football in 2023. Mac Jones, Matt Corral, Bailey Zapp on the practice squad with Malik Cunningham. Holy good Lord. That's a whole quarterback room that's just a flaming pile of dog excrement on the porch of Bill Belichick's house. Wow.
That's bad.
And the bad thing is that now you have to keep Matt Corral on your 53-man roster because you claimed him. He has to be on the roster for week 1. Matt Corral shouldn't be starting in the XFL. Bill, what are you doing?
That's not fair. That's not fair to Matt.
Life's not fair. There's one fair in life. Shows up in your town once a year with Ferris wheels and funnel cakes. It'll be right here in Western North Carolina very soon.
That's not fair. He could beat out Jordan Ta'amu,
who's also not in the league. Yeah, he got cut.
Did he?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Matt Corral is awful. Genuinely horror awful.
Yep.
And Bill went, there it is. That's my guy. The funniest part of this, I heard somebody this morning talking about why New England had waived Bailey Zapp and waived Malik Cunningham. That made sense. But the thought was they were going to add a veteran. And the reason they waived Bailey Zapp is because they're changing the way the offense is going to run. Last year, quarterback didn't have the ability to check the line at all, which is not NFL-level offensive play call.
Well, that's what you get for having defensive guys run your offense.
Yeah, that's what happens when you have Pat Matricia and Joe Judge. I would do the same thing with his name, but they must start with J's. Calling your plays. So now they're putting more in the hands of the quarterback, which I and you know what? I was prepared to come in here today and go, okay, I have heard the explanation. I unwind everything I said about Bill. He's got a plan. We're going to get a vet. And I thought that vet would be Colt McCoy or maybe Case Keenum or somebody like that that's been in the league and is an actual, I don't know, legit NFL quarterback and not this fictitious attempt at being a quarterback that Matt Corral is.
Matt Corral cut by the Carolina Panthers. Like they just went, yeah, we're good.
No,
you can go.
Bye.
Gone. Bryce Young's in town now.
Bryce Young, Andrew Dalton, in the message, repeat the line. Go on now, get.
Yep. We'll stick with Andrew Dalton. We don't need any more of this. And Bill Belichick just rushes out to snatch it up.
I do it. I need it.
Like he did something, I guess. I don't know. It makes no sense to me. I haven't seen it. I haven't seen NFL quarterback in Matt Corral ever when he was drafted.
I never had either. And I'm going to be honest with you. I saw him very up close and personal for 2 days. And I don't know how this happened, but somehow he got worse. He went from genuinely awful to incredibly, staggeringly horror awful. It's almost like a new level of bad. But Matt Corral achieved it, and Bill Belichick went, give me that one. Woof.
It's just a depth move. We're just adding to our juggernaut of an offense.
Yeah, you got. Here's the thing, and I'm really curious. Does Bill think if you just have a lot of quarterbacks, does that add up to one?
Maybe.
I'm also stuck on the fact we didn't talk about this. There are only 2 running backs on the active roster. There's only 2 tight ends, and there's only 5 receivers. And, yeah, I guess Matthew Slater counts, but not really. He's a special teams guy.
Right. I mean, he can be used as a receiver. Like, they do that every year, though, don't they? They have that special teams guy that they like to bring in every now and then. What was the guy's name a few years ago?
It's been Matthew Slater for 100 years because he's 37 years old and he's been on this roster forever.
Kendrell Tompkins?
He wasn't a special teams ace like
I thought he
like
was
Matthew
the kick
Slater.
returner. And
he was for a year, and then he went to play for the Jets.
Yeah.
So, let's see. Matthew Slater has been here since 2008. How many targets does he have in the last 8 years? Or, no, it's even more than that. In the last 15 years.
No telling.
I guess. 15 years he's been a receiver on this roster.
How many targets he got?
I don't know. 600.
Well, if you had stopped at 6, you'd have been super close. Because it's 8.
15 years?
8. He has 8 targets. He has 1 catch in his life. Let's go. New England Patriot football. We're coming at you.
Fired up, ready to go.
And yet, there will still be somebody that goes, well, we're going to be competitive with the Jets and the Dolphins and the Bills. Maybe if it's the Inca Jets and the some town in Tennessee Bills and the Polk County Dolphins, then maybe it will be.
The Polk County Dolphins. That immediately would be the worst nickname for a team.
In Polk County, no doubt.
I mean, maybe if it's Polk County, Florida, we can do the Dolphins.
There is a Polk County.
There is a Polk County.
Yeah. Oops. Sorry.
Was that what you were thinking, Polk County, Florida, when you said it?
I was.
Oh, interesting.
My wife's from Florida. And frankly, I've been in that Polk County more recently than I've been in the one that's like, I don't know, a stone's throw from here.
That's not true. You got to drive through Polk County to get to South Carolina. You go on I-26, you're going through Polk County.
Do you hit Polk County? I thought it was just straight.
Smidge.
Oh,
For a
that doesn't
smidge.
count.
You got to pass the sign that says "Welcome to Polk County."
Awesome. I pass that and go,
huzzah.
Good to see you again.
He passes that and he goes, "Hey, there's one of them in Florida."
Sorry to
I
see
didn't
you
realize
guys.
we drove that far. You make that joke, don't you?
No, you're the dad joke guy. No, I did make it. I have to. It's funny you said it that way. Many of you that listen to the show have become like friends, and a lot of you have met my lovely wife. And you realize very quickly in meeting her that I outkicked my coverage by a whole mess.
A mess, yeah.
Well, my father and I have developed this like running joke that she posts pictures, and it's as innocent as it can be, and yet it gets Cletus the Slack-jawed yokel in the comments. It's like, "You're pretty. Can I get to know you?" And so now I have developed this theory that I'm going to tell nothing but the cheesiest jokes every time she posts one of these. So she did it yesterday, and I fired the "Hey's your left eye hurt because you've been looking right all day."
Yeah.
Let's go. And I'm just going to do that every time she posts a picture.
Excellent.
And I know she's still at work, so she can't hear me say this. It's going to be one of those little things that nobody knows, but I do.
You're in the Sportsocracy. This is ESPN Asheville. It's a Threadbare Thursday. Anything you want talked about, throw it into the chat on the YouTube stream. Go to thesportsocracy.com, click the live video link, subscribe to the channel so you can get into the chat. When we return, it'll be time to get weird.
This is your Exergen Temporal Scanner weather forecast on ESPN Asheville.
After some big downpours this week, it looks like things do try to dry out here in western North Carolina as we head into the weekend. Already some lower humidity has pulled into town. 50s in the mountains tonight, 60 in the valley. Partly cloudy Friday, a high of 79 degrees. Some upper 80s returning into the Labor Day forecast early next week for Monday and Tuesday. Going to be a warm stretch of weather next week for us. I'm meteorologist Scott Lauriamore. That's the latest Weather Channel forecast.
This is your time saver traffic on the new ESPN Asheville.
Driving slowing, 240 westbound between Charlotte Street and Montford Avenue. 26 west and eastbound delays between Airport Road and the Blue Ridge Parkway. 26 eastbound also slowing near Bavard Road. Sweeten Creek Road, north and southbound, approaching Mills Gap Road is slow. Near Avery Creek, Bavard Road, north and southbound, near Long Shoals Road, delays. In Spartanburg County, 26 westbound, very busy between the South Carolina-North Carolina line and West Mill Street. I'm Lyndon Field with your Time Saver Traffic.
This report is sponsored by Mattress Firm. Score big on sleep and savings during Mattress Firm's best sale of the year. Save up to $700 on select Tempur-Pedic adjustable beds and get a $300 instant gift, good towards pillows and more.
You know when you wake up and your mouth feels gross and you just can't wait to brush your teeth to get that clean, fresh feeling again? That's exactly how millions of Navage users feel when they use powered suction to rinse out their noses every day, just like brushing their teeth. Once you're able to breathe deeply without congestion, you never want to be without it. That's why so many people rave about Navage, with over 100,000 online reviews. Feel the Navage difference for yourself. In less than a minute a day, you'll feel immediate relief from seasonal allergies and congestion after the very first use. Navage will also help you sleep deeper, snore less, and feel healthier, naturally, without drugs. Start breathing clearly again with Navage. Navage is available at Walmart, Walgreens, Target, CVS, Rite Aid, and online at Navage.com. Navage. Navage. Clean nose, healthy life.
At Ingles, whether we're celebrating Friday night rivals, televising college basketball games, bringing the Fan Fest to semi-pro soccer, or taking you out to the ball game at your minor league park, it's all in the bag. Ingles, low prices, love the savings.
Rogue Combat Club, Asheville's home for comprehensive martial arts training, has a goal for our community, one that's stronger, more fit, and unwavers in its support of one another. Rogue Combat Club's instructors have competed at the highest levels and offer classes for everyone from young children to adults in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, Muay Thai, and wrestling. Rogue Combat Club classes can help you boost your self-confidence and self-defense skills while weeding out the egos and intimidation found at other gyms. Join today at roguecombatclub.com.
Are you Beer City's best fantasy football player? Your chance to prove it is back. The Sportsocracy's Battle for the Belt is back for year 2 with 2 ways to win. Our standard contest and the new Eliminator Challenge for the most hardcore of football fans. Play fantasy football with us every week of the NFL season and compete for a cause with proceeds benefiting Eblen Charities St. Nicholas Project. Register today at thesportsocracy.com and take your shot at the title of Beer City's fantasy football champion.
On the weird scale, there's Vegas, there's Florida, and there's Asheville. Let's get weird, Asheville.
Back at the Sportsocracy on ESPN Asheville, 92.9 FM, 880 AM and 1400. Yesterday in Norfolk, Nebraska, there was an interesting situation where police received a phone call that was a man driving down the highway with a very interesting passenger in his car.
He's been telling this story all day.
Because it's the most ridiculous thing I've seen on the internet today, which is saying something. Because some of those remix videos of Mitch McConnell are hilarious. But 10 a.m. What? Oh.
I told you I was getting it into the stream.
Yeah. Around 10 a.m. yesterday, the call came in that there was a man driving a car down eastbound 275 in Norfolk, and he had a cow in his car. Now, that seems weird, and the cops thought the same thing. And when they were on the way to the scene, they said they were thinking, well, we're going to show up, and this guy's going to have like a calf in the front seat with his head hanging out the window. That is not what they found. They found over 1,000-pound Watusi bull standing where the passenger seat is supposed to be. The guy that was arrested, or I mean, he was actually just like written warnings and given.
We don't arrest people anymore.
Yeah, well, I mean, this is Nebraska. And
I have a story later that proves we don't actually arrest people anymore. This is not a thing we do as a country.
Well, this is rural Nebraska, and who's he really hurting, I guess, by transporting this bull in this manner? But Lee Meyer is his name, and he went to an auction. This is not fact in the story. This is what I'm guessing, because by the videos, he has a former police cruiser that he stripped the P and the O off of, and now it just says lice on the side. And he carved out the entire passenger side of the car and put one of those bull gates on it for a door, and that's how he transports the cow. The cow stands on the car, and he just rides with it out in the open. Only thing between it and the ground is the hood of the car. They obviously cited him for several violations, stern warnings, and told never to do this again. Which I have a feeling he's done this before, or else he wouldn't have a vehicle completely customized to carry a bull.
Did you see the video yesterday of from right here in Asheville of the guy on the scooter?
No.
He grabs a trash can. It was right there on the backside of Tunnel Road, like going out to Swannanoa. And he drives across the road on his little scoot, and he grabs the trash can, and he pulls it behind him on his little scoot. All the way down the street, and then back across.
Only in Asheville.
It's like, hey, modern problems require modern solutions. My story comes from Canada. Canada known for maple syrup, kindness to strangers, many other things. Well, Wednesday they were known for something else. Bees. A whole mess of bees. Police west of Toronto Wednesday warned drivers to keep their windows closed after a truck spilled crates carrying 5 million bees. How does that happen? First of all, why are we moving these things? I don't like bees at all. Oh, but they make honey, and I don't care. I don't care. I don't like flowers. I'm allergic to everything. You're not going to sell me on the beauty of the bee.
But you don't like honey?
No.
Really?
I don't like caramel, and you're shocked that I don't like honey. Too sweet.
Okay.
I'm good. Anyway, Halton Regional Police said they received a call around 6:15 a.m. reporting that the bee crates had come loose from a truck and spilled onto Guelph Line north of Dundas Street. How do you fix that?
Hey, you got to go catch them.
Yeah, how do you do that? Because the Toronto police didn't know. That's where I'm headed with the story.
I mean, like gas and nets and.
They posted it on their social media accounts, and 6 to 7 beekeepers called and said, "We got this."
Yeah.
That would only happen in Canada. Hey, you spilled 1 billion bees. I'm coming. I'll be there. You do that in, I don't know, Nebraska? You got to figure that out for yourself.
No, sir.
Yeah, I'll pass.
No.
That's one of those hobbies that...
You would have no fewer than 27 volunteers show up for that in the city of Asheville. There is a giant beekeeping community around here.
But in Asheville, they would want to release them back into the wild or something. They would want to start a charity for the bee. have a charity fundraiser for the bee.
We need to find affordable housing for these poor bees.
There it is. There it is. Yeah, we'd be converting hotels for bees. There's somebody listening to this right now going, they're making fun of us.
Yeah.
Yes, we are.
Yes, we are. Yeah, no, beekeeping is one of those things.
That's one of those hobbies that I've never understood.
My papaw used to keep bees,
but why?
For the honey. You have your own bees.
Can you not
get
buy
your own honey. It's better. It's better when it's
good
fresh.
Lord, everything's better if I grew it myself.
Yeah.
Look, my parents have a gigantic farm, and they give us vegetables, and they're awesome.
Mm-hmm.
And God love them for the work that they do, and they have to fend off rabbits and deer and all these things that want to eat your food. It just sounds like a lot of work. And I'm a lazy man. I can go to my local Ingles, low prices, love the savings, get any kind of honey, anything like that. I don't need to fight off 1,000 bees or 10,000 or 5 million or whatever it takes.
Yeah. You could also sell your honey.
Oh, awesome.
Have you seen the price of honey lately?
All right.
If I'm able to get $25 a jar for that stuff,
if people are paying $25 a jar for honey, you really need to. I'm gonna need you to explain that to me.
That's the cheap ones.
Shut up.
No,
Honey's not that expensive.
I'm serious. Not in the grocery store. You can get it cheaper than that. But if you're looking for actual,
that's what I'm talking about.
Non-chemicaled honey.
Oh wait, so you mean I have to pay more for
the natural stuff?
For Cletus? Oh, natural.
Have you never been? Is this your first time?
I had a Little Caesars pizza earlier. Do you think I eat anything natural?
No, but I'm saying is that
most of what I eat's not food.
You shouldn't be shocked that the natural stuff costs more than the corn syrup stuff.
Because I don't understand what you're doing. If my wife came home and said, I bought a $25 jar of honey, I would go, is it going to do our taxes? Like, what are you paying this outrageous price for honey for? I think she works with somebody that gives her honey, if I'm not mistaken.
Mm-hmm. That's also a plus to having your own bees. You just give out honey to your friends.
I don't, there's a percentage of the population that I don't understand you. I don't understand how you live. I don't really understand what you're doing with your life, if I had to be honest.
And everybody who gardens
I get. I at least understand why you would do that.
Raises bees.
Bees I don't get.
Cattle, does that fall into your...
Cattle seems like a really big headache.
Oh, it is. I'm sure it is.
Well, because they're basically like glorified dogs that are much, much heavier and harder to move.
Yes.
Because they literally will roam anywhere that you allow them to.
Mm-hmm.
My father has a neighbor that his cow just randomly. He was sitting on his patio the other day and just looks across and there's a cow just sitting there like,
moo.
I don't know what to do now. Hey, I'm just sitting here being a cow. What are you doing over there? You drinking your coffee? That's cool. I'm just existing because that's what I do until I'm dinner for someone else.
Yeah. It is the Sportsocracy. This is ESPN Asheville. I feel like we're teaching you stuff today, and that's always a good day.
Well, we're teaching you how stupid I am, but you probably should already have known that.
Yeah, we did.
People raising their own bees. I don't get it. I like hobbies that couldn't potentially kill me.
Mm-hmm. I mean, I guess the bees could potentially kill you if you got stung by all of them at the same time.
Yeah,
but unless you're allergic,
that's their job in life is to sting things.
No, their job in life is to pollinate all of the things. Jonathan Welch put in the comments here, the almond business in California, $1 million industry. Every year, 80% of the bees in the country are sent to California to pollinate the damn nuts.
Yeah, and that's because there's a slew of you that now have determined that almond milk is a thing. And, there is not a boob on an almond, so I'm out.
No, it's almond juice. But you wouldn't buy almond juice.
Yeah, because that sounds gross. So they put milk on it. Yeah, let's do that. Yeah. Or, how about drink milk?
Almond milk is lovely.
Almond milk is gross.
No, it's not.
So is coconut water. All these. I will never understand how we got to a certain point in life. And a percentage of people went, we're going to take all of the things that we already have that are awesome, and we're going to make them suck. I'm going to take milk and make almond milk. Mm-hmm. You're correcting a problem that we don't have.
No,
milk
a lot
is
of people
awesome.
have that problem. It's called lactose intolerance.
There's a pill for that. You take it every day. Eat all the milk and cheese you want.
Oh.
Good Lord, we take a pill for everything.
Yeah, but again, I'm going to go down that path of many people don't like to trust their lives to big pharma. So
you're going to squeeze juice from an almond and call it milk.
It's healthier.
GG Gambling said, my son's allergic to nuts and milk. What do I do? I have no idea.
No.
I have no clue. I'm not supposed to eat nuts at all.
Really?
No. Like, at all.
Is that because of your stomach
yes.
issues? Oh, okay.
They're awful.
It's not an allergy.
No. I'm not allergic to anything, to my knowledge. But, well, that's not true. Nope. I thought I had one and I didn't. Yeah, I don't know what you're supposed to do. Because milk is awesome.
It is. I would be terrified.
Oh.
Or I would be sad, I guess, if I could no longer have milk.
At this point, my wife buys a carton of milk from Ingles like every 2 weeks because I don't drink much of it, but I want it. If I want it, I'd need it to be there. And I don't know what this stuff is. It's like organic, whatever milk. It's like $6 a carton. And when she first told me that, I went, "Are you out of your mind buying milk that's that expensive?" Here's the thing: it doesn't ever go bad. It takes like 2 months for it to go bad.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, spend that. That's fine.
That way you don't have to get rid of it every 2 weeks.
And it tastes unbelievably good.
Would that have
It's like
anything to do
organic
with
wole milk. Oh,
right.
my good.
The
It's
fact-
like it's melted ice cream, and I'd put it on anything.
Like the fact that it's more natural makes it better.
I have-
not so much chemicals in it.
I don't care about the chemicals. It tastes awesome, and it never goes bad.
I was going to say, you kind of came full circle on that
I'm
one.
not-
Like, I like all the cheap chemically stuff. And then, but the milk.
Do I need to re-reference that Little Caesars pizza that the box is still sitting on the end of the desk, emanating grease a 1/4 inch thick on the desk, and I ate half of it by myself while I stared at my partner that just had a heart attack and went, "Oh, yeah, you can't eat this, can you? Nom, 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 nom."
You're in the Sportsocracy. This is ESPN Asheville. I guess that was your latest Foodocracy segment.
We're two big dumb bears, folks. We get hungry easily.
Brought to you by Ingles Supermarkets. Low prices, love the savings. We'll be right back.
This is your time saver traffic on the new ESPN Asheville.
Traffic slow, 240 eastbound between exit 3 and exit 4A. 26 eastbound stop and go approaching the French Broad River to Airport Road. 26 on the westbound side slow between Airport Road and the Blue Ridge Parkway. Smoky Park Highway northbound approaching Sand Hill Road slow. Near Avery Creek, Boulevard Road north and southbound. Near Long Shoals Road is slow. Sweeten Creek Road north and southbound near Mills Gap Road is slow. Spartanburg County, 26 westbound crawling between the South Carolina, North Carolina line and West Mills Street. I'm Lyndon Fuel with your Time Saver Traffic.
This report is sponsored by Mattress Firm. Score big on sleep and savings during Mattress Firm's best sale of the year. Save up to $700 on select Tempur-Pedic adjustable beds and get a $300 instant gift, good towards pillows and more.
Staples has great prices on everything you need for back to school. Right now, a 24-pack of Crayola crayons and comp books are just 50 cents each, and select notebooks are just 35 cents each. In-store only, offer ends 9/16, limit 30. School on, save on at Staples.
Right now at Wendy's, when you buy either Dave's Single, Spicy Chicken Sandwich, Medium Frosty, or 10-piece nuggets, you can get another for just $1. Your dollar never tasted so good. So it's obvious what everyone will get, right?
Definitely nugs
Spicy
and
chicken
a Frosty.
sandwich, Dave's Single and a Frosty for me.
And a Frosty. Okay, who said Frosty and a Frosty? Pick your obvious choice. Choose wisely. Choose Wendy's, buy one, get one for $1.
Limited time only. Price of participation may vary. U.S. Wendy's, valid for item of equal or lesser value. Cannot be combined in a combo or any other offer.
To some, this might sound like a typical family dog. But at Dog Chow, we know that for a veteran suffering from PTSD, this could be the sound of life-saving therapy.
Thanks, Betty.
That's why we've made it our mission to connect every military hero in need with a canine hero of their own. To learn about the simple ways you can help Dog Chow in our mission, visit dogchow.com/veterans.
Discover credit cards automatically double all the cash back you earn at the end of your first year, which means... Wait, hold up. Question for the audio engineer.
Go ahead.
Did I read that right? Discover automatically doubles all your cash back?
Yeah, that's what the script says.
So if I get a Discover card right now, I can earn twice the cash back.
Apparently. Wait! Unlimited first-year cash back match. Only from Discover. See terms and learn more at discover.com/match.
Our communities are filled with wonderful people who make living here great. At Home Trust Bank, we're proud of that. And that's why we focus on helping homeowners prepare for what's next. Our local mortgage bankers have the experience you need and exceptional personal service you'll appreciate. Home Trust Bank is ready to help make a house your home. When it's time to buy, visit your local Home Trust branch or go to htb.com/mortgage.
Attention, it's time for the morning announcements. Make sure your parents are aware of the Ingles Tools for Schools program and ask them to link their Ingles Advantage card to our school. Remember, you have to do it each year. Now please stand and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
The Sportsocracy.
Ice up, son. Ice up.
Welcome back into the Sportsocracy on a kickoff Thursday. College football tonight. In fact, the coverage starts on News Radio 570 WWNC in just about 38 minutes for the 7:30 kickoff tonight. For the NC State Wolfpack taking on the UConn Huskies in the opener of the season. Wake Forest also in action tonight against Elon. And then Utah and Florida. The Miami Dolphins have put Jeff Wilson Jr. on IR.
Who's shocked? He's hurt already.
It won't be long until Raheem Mostert probably follows him onto that list because that's just kind of how things have gone for them over the last few years. So that leaves Devin Achane. And then what are you going to do?
Well, everybody lost their mind when they started making moves and getting to get cap space. Yep. Oh, they're trying to make a run at Jonathan Taylor. I have it on good authority. They didn't even they didn't communicate an offer that was even in the ballpark of what Indianapolis wanted.
Mm-hmm.
Ask yourself this question. Why? Why did they do that?
I don't know. Why?
I genuinely think they feel fine with where they're at.
Okay.
They adding another one because you do have two that are pretty injury prone. Devin Achane's still in a non-contact jersey for right now. It was more injuries than it was, we don't feel good. I think Achane's the one you want. I'm getting to the point of I'm going to take Raheem Mostert in fantasy football drafts. I mean, he was going ridiculously low. I'm looking for the number now, and it's going to come up because he's the clear, no doubt number one. But I'll target him in every draft I do between now and the start of the season.
Well, because you can spend a 10th round pick on him probably and get him. Maybe later.
I don't know if you can go that late. Not now. According to Fantasy Pros, A-Chain was going at 40. Mostert was going at 47. This is among running backs.
Mm-hmm.
And Jeff Wilson was at 55. So I feel reasonably sure that you're going to you'll get most. Okay, yeah, you're right, 10th round.
Yeah.
I'll do that all day. All day long.
Well, because the potential value is phenomenal.
If he stays healthy.
Yeah, if he's the starter and he's the guy, let's remember he's one of the fastest running backs in the NFL still.
Mm-hmm.
And that's a pretty high-speed offense that he may have some room to run.
Can I tell you a fun stat about Raheem Mostert?
Yep.
He's finished as an RB2 or higher in every season that he's played 12-plus games. In his career.
I could believe it. Some of those seasons were really decent with the San Francisco 49ers. I think he had one season that made me believe that he was going to be something. And then
he's really talented.
He was one of those that just never caught a break.
Well, the problem with the stat that I just gave you is he's been in the league since 2015. How many seasons where he played 12 games has he had?
3.
2.
Yes, so close.
He missed one time when he was a special teams guy with San Francisco by just a hair.
Mm-hmm.
But everybody talks about the injuries with him. This kid's he's got less than 500 carries in his career. And I feel like Miami has been trying to tell you, we're good. They gave a incredibly low ball offer to Dalvin Cook. They didn't offer anything of any substance on Jonathan Taylor. I understand that you don't like their running back room. This is San Francisco philosophy all over again.
Mm-hmm.
Christian McCaffrey was a huge break from the process with San Francisco guys. Mike McDaniel wasn't there when that happened. That's Kyle Shanahan, John Lynch thing.
Okay.
I don't think he cares. I think he genuinely believes I have 2 receivers that are so fast that as long as I've got somebody that can run in this scheme that I run, we're good. And they think they have 3.
Mm-hmm.
Jeff Wilson will be in mothballs for 4 weeks. Mostert's a guy I'm targeting in drafts, and Devin Achane is too. With his speed, if he catches 50% of the passing down work through the first 4 weeks, they'll never look back.
Nope.
Because he is dynamic with the ball in his hand.
So at this point, they're saying they're not going to go get another running back?
I will be shocked if they do. They cut Myles Gaskin outright. He signed with Minnesota?
I believe that's right.
They think they're fine. Doesn't matter what you think.
Yep.
They're the one making the calls.
You're in the Sportsocracy. This is ESPN Asheville, the Sports Center update right around the corner, and then it'll be daily draft time where we'll talk some more fantasy football, going underrated players for 2023.
This is your Exergen Temporal Scanner weather forecast on ESPN Asheville.
After some big downpours this week, it looks like things do try to dry out here in western North Carolina as we head into the weekend. Already some lower humidity has pulled into town. 50s in the mountains tonight, 60 in the valley. Partly cloudy Friday, a high of 79 degrees. Some upper 80s returning into the Labor Day forecast early next week for Monday and Tuesday. Going to be a warm stretch of weather next week for us. I'm meteorologist Scott Lauriamore. That's the latest Weather Channel forecast.
This is your time saver traffic on the new ESPN Asheville.
Driving slow, 240 eastbound between exit 3 and exit 4A. 26 eastbound stop and go approaching the French Broad River to Airport Road. 26 on the westbound side slow between Airport Road and the Blue Ridge Parkway. Smoky Park Highway northbound approaching Sand Hill Road slow. Near Avery Creek Boulevard Road north and southbound near Long Shoals Road is slow. Sweeten Creek Road north and southbound near Mills Gap Road is slow. Spartanburg County 26 westbound crawling between the South Carolina, North Carolina line and West Mills Street. I'm Lyndon Fuel with your Time Saver Traffic.
This report is sponsored by Staples Stores. Staples has everything you need for the office and the classroom for less. Now save even more with $10 off document printing when you spend $40 or more. Offer ends 9/30. Exclusions and restrictions apply. See associate or visit staples.com/printing for details.
iHeartRadio Music Festival is coming back to T-Mobile Arena in Las Vegas September 22nd and 23rd.
The most unforgettable weekend of music on the planet.
Buy tickets now at AXS.com.
From the Ingles Studios, this is ESPN Asheville, WPEK, W225CJ Fairview, WMXF Waynesville, and iHeart Radio Station.
This is SportsCenter.
I'm Doug Brown. ESPN's Adam Schefter reports Vikings tight end TJ Hawkinson will get the biggest contract ever at his position. 4 years, $66 million, with $42.5 million guaranteed. ESPN's Jeremy Fowler reports the Patriots will sign quarterback Matt Corral, who was cut by the Panthers on Wednesday. The first big weekend of the college football season kicks off tonight in Salt Lake City with 14th-ranked Utah hosting Florida. Utes quarterback Cam Rising not expected to play, still recovering from a torn ACL. ESPN's Greg McElroy.
It's massive, but really more from a leadership standpoint than anything else. If you look at how Utah has now been built in year 19 for Kyle Whittingham, they're built from the inside out, and the offensive line and the run game are going to have to take ownership in Cam Rising's absence.
Greg McElroy, Utah and Florida at 8 Eastern on ESPN. At the U.S. Open, American Michael Mmoh wins his second-round match, beating fellow American John Isner, who now plans to retire after 17 years on tour.
Do you own or rent your home? Sure you do. Fortunately, Geico makes it easy to bundle your home and car insurance. It's a good thing, too, because having a home is hard work. Go to geico.com, get a quote, and see how much you could save. Geico.com. Easy.
Now, your chance at $1,000 and a trip to our 2023 iHeartRadio Music Festival. Yeah! Text the nationwide keyword WIN to 200-200. You'll get a confirmation text and info. Standard data and message rates apply in this nationwide contest. That's WIN to 200-200.
He's a degenerate gambler.
You are a smelly pirate hooker.
And he's cheaper than oxygen.
He's useless.
But somehow, they make it work. Jeremy Greene, Tank Spencer. There's no holding back in the Sportsocracy, presented by Ingles Supermarkets.
It's ESPN Asheville. You're in the Sportsocracy. This is ESPN Asheville 92.9 FM, 880 AM, and 1400. We are heard everywhere on the iHeartRadio app and seen everywhere on YouTube. Live at the Ingles Studio. Go to thesportsocracy.com. Click the live video link, subscribe to the channel, and join us in the chat. We've got 1 hour to go before, well, kickoff. Kickoff is coming up at 6 o'clock tonight in college football. There are no games kicking off at 6 that you should be paying attention to. You wait till the 7 o'clock hour, and then you get to some of the Power 5 teams being involved. 2 ACC teams in action tonight in NC State and Wake Forest.
Wager against NC State, and if you find a place to wager on Wake Forest Elon, you should probably call a new sponsor because you need a meeting in the basement of a church. Stale cookies and bad coffee for all.
It is the Sportsocracy, top of the third hour of the program. We always do the daily draft, and today we're going to focus on underrated or undervalued players in fantasy football for 2023. Where are we going to start on this one? It's my turn?
It is your turn.
It's my turn. All right.
I beat you in the sandwich draft yesterday.
In the sandy? No, you did not.
I did.
No,
I did.
Sir. No, sir.
I got grilled cheese, which is and the Ubens.
And Oh, yeah, and
Reuben Cuban.
The
that was where I
Reuben-Cuban
wanted.
tandem was very good. But yeah, you still fell short on that one. Most underrated fantasy players this year. I'm going to go with Dameon Pierce.
Ooh.
Dameon Pierce to me is a guy that I feel like the industry, fantasy football players were really high on for last year. And for some reason, this year's different. Even though I think his team is better this year than they were last year.
Not by much.
Not by much, but a little bit. And I think the offensive line is a little bit better.
The offensive line's fine.
Than they were last year. I just don't know what the hate is, or
you want me to tell you?
or the
I can
shade that's being thrown his way.
I can tell you.
Please.
How many points did he score in the playoff weeks last year?
How many?
Zero, because he didn't play any of those games.
Mm-hmm.
That's why.
Because
people had him for the year. He had that nice little run to begin the year, and then other than that, he was largely average. I mean, he was consistently good, especially in PPR, for 15 a week-ish. Had a couple really elite weeks before the bye week, and then it just became inconsistent as all get out. Now, I don't think it's going to be a problem this year. Devin Singletary he's fine.
Mm-hmm.
I don't necessarily think he's great, and I don't think he's taking away a bunch of – I don't think he's going to take away a bunch of tote for Dameon Pierce. You've also got a quarterback here that is really hard to trust in any way.
Right. Not that they had one that they could trust last year, so I don't know that changes a whole lot.
Yeah, but with Davis Mills, I at least felt like he could get the protections right. You got to understand, C.J. Stroud's going into a whole new world here.
Mm-hmm.
The reason that Ohio State quarterbacks have come to the league and struggled so much is because it is very, very different in the league than what they're used to. That's a pick-and-pop offense with a lot of high-level receivers. His receiving core at Ohio State was better than his receiving core with the Texans, and I'm not sure it's all that close.
Mm-hmm.
So I get some of the hate. It's just gone way, way too far.
It has. He disappeared for a few weeks in the middle of the season. We always talk about the rookie wall. There comes a point where guys just hit a wall. And they went up against two really tough run defenses in the middle of that as well. But then, I mean, when he gets 12 plus carries a game, he almost guaranteed you 10 points a week.
But that's still not good.
It's not good, but it also isn't like, oh, God, this guy's just absolutely terrible. He gets into an offense or an offensive rhythm, I guess, where he's getting legit tote week in and week out. I just think he's got so much more of a high ceiling than the current, 40th overall that he's going? 50th, somewhere in there?
I don't think it's that low. I could be wrong. I do not see 40. Yeah.
He's at 40.
Yeah. So he's going middle of round 4. That's too low to me, but it's not crazy.
Mm-hmm.
There's one for me that's crazy.
Okay.
And every time I see it, it just dumbfounds me. It's Joe Mixon. What did he do to you exactly? I can't figure out. He's going behind Jahmyr Gibbs, who, yes, I like him. I like him, and I understand why many of you like him. But Joe Mixon's been real good in this league for a long time. Oh, by the way, this offense is awesome. And it's been awesome. And there's nobody that really challenges him for snaps.
I would have understood the shading or the fading of Joe Mixon.
When you thought he could be suspended.
Right, when it was before all of the things had been decided and the charges were dropped, or however that sorted out. I can't remember off the top of my head, but it's not a problem. It's not an obstacle standing in his way of competing this year. I could understand that earlier, but he's also a boomer bust. Like super boomer busty.
Okay, explain that.
Well, I mean, just look at his track record last year. He had one game where he scored 50 points against the Carolina Panthers.
That was a good one. I had him in DraftKings that week. That was a great day to be alive.
Yeah, and then the rest of his stats were some weeks he was fine, other weeks he just disappeared.
Weekly finish last year. How many times did Joe Mixon finish outside of the top 20?
6.
6 is exactly right.
Okay.
How many times did he finish as an RB1?
5.
6.
Okay.
He's going as a 2. Solidly as a 2. Behind Ramondre Stevenson, Jahmyr Gibbs, and I like all of those guys. I do not understand taking them ahead of Joe Mixon.
And
every running back in this league has that element of boomer bust. Outside of the highest-end, high-end guys. And guess what? They have a risk, too.
Does Chase Brown have much to do with that?
He shouldn't. You should draft
agree.
Chase Brown if you take Joe Mixon, because I do think he would, even though Chris Evans is listed as the 2, I think Chase Brown's going to have a role. But I'm not worried about it. We've done this before. I think Chris Evans gets the receiving down work. If something happened to Joe Mixon, it would be Chase Brown. He would just slide right into that role. Nothing changes for Chris Evans.
Okay.
Who is not fantasy relevant to me in any way.
No.
But Joe Mixon catches this shade, and I just don't understand it. And he has high-end upside, too. And now you're looking just specifically at 2022. If you go back to 2021, he finished in the top 4 of weekly finish at running back 6 times. He has top 5 potential. The work is inconsistent. There are times he gets 10 carries. It makes you want to pull your hair out. But I could say that about practically anybody. I love Joe Mixon. I'm finding myself taking him in a lot of places.
I will be glad.
Especially when I run the Jeremy theory and go Kelsey, Mahomes, and then Mixon's my first running back. Wookie.
Yeah, feel just fine.
Then I get Calvin Ridley in the 4th round, and I go, man, y'all just hate your money. Why don't you just cut me a check right now?
Right. The problem I have is when I get to that point and I go, is Joe Mixon worth it, or do I want to go boom or bust, or do I want to go something solid? Like I feel like Kenny Walker would be more of a solid choice than
the further into this we get, the more I'm souring on Kenny Walker.
I would feel like Dameon Pierce, who I already mentioned, or Miles Sanders would be in that.
Well, the problem with Dameon Pierce is that he is so irrelevant in the passing game so often, and they're going to be down a lot. If I thought that team was better, I would agree with you.
Yep.
Because I do like Dameon Pierce, and I'm taking him a lot too. But I can't take him over Joe Mixon. I just can't.
Yeah.
It's prolific offense. I want pieces of it.
Okay. Number 2.
Now, this one's going to sound a little strange, but hear me out. It's Terry McLaurin.
Okay.
Where did he go in drafts last year? Wide receiver what?
22.
15.
Okay.
Where's he going this year?
31.
23.
Okay.
That doesn't make a whole mess of sense to me. So
I guess.
You think Sam Howell genuinely is worse than Carson Wentz and Taylor Heineken?
No, I think people believe that. I think most people believe that he's worse or will be worse because he has no experience.
The last year, if you could have combined Carson Wentz and Taylor Heineke into one person, that'd have been QB 13 in fantasy. You are now in a more prolific quarterback offense with a quarterback that I value to be exponentially better than either one of those two. Even if he's not. Let's just say you get the same level of quarterback play that you got last year. Terry McLaurin was still real good last year. He's had 1,000 yards 3 years in a row. He's had over 77 catches 3 years in a row. The touchdowns have been inconsistent, but it's an offense that hasn't scored much. That's the one thing that I can almost rest assured is going to get better. And McLaurin is just as safe as they come. I mean, yeah, he'll have the fall off the world weeks where he gives you 5 catches for 25 yards, which he did last year. but he still has a lot of very consistent top 15 finishes. And I think he's going to be a low-end wide receiver 1, high-end wide receiver 2 this year with Sam Howell. They've talked about him all offseason. Now, he might miss week 1, but if I'm having drafts this weekend, I almost hope it comes out that he's going to miss week 1 because that'll push him down even further. I will snag him and go, okay, let's say I lose the first week. Do I really care? I can't come back from 1 loss? I think I can.
Yeah. Current ADP, 53.
Which is insane.
For Terry McLaurin. It's quite the value if you can get him there. I'm not wild about the next player that I'm going to take. But I feel like wide receiver 32 is very low for a guy who has the kind of talent that Deontay Johnson has. He has his problems, right? Like we talked about this with him last year. As the season kept going and he wasn't getting his targets, he got louder and louder. And remember, everybody started drawing all the comparisons to Antonio Brown. This is how it started with Antonio Brown. He's not getting his. He's going to be loud. He's going to be a problem. The kid had how many touchdowns last year?
0.
0. That's right. Do you think that's replicable? A guy with his talent, with his quarterback taking another step, we think. He had 882 yards last year and did not get into the end zone. There's no chance that happens again this year. I don't think. Well, it's only because you're so all in on Pat Freiermuth
and George Pickens. That's the problem, is that I love Freiermuth and I love Pickens.
Mm-hmm.
They're both better red zone targets than he is.
Mm-hmm.
I don't disagree with you that he's going too low. I don't think it's crazy too low.
Really?
No.
7th round is not too low.
No. Because, all right, so you said that the not scoring a touchdown was not replicable.
Yes.
How many do you think he's going to score?
I don't know. I'd put it at 5.
Okay. So if you add 5 touchdowns to what Deontay Johnson did last year.
Yes.
In PPR leagues, he finished, I want to say he was in the low 20s. I'm looking as we speak. And, of course, 28. Okay. If you add 5 touchdowns to that, all right, that's 30 points. Where's that put him?
I don't know.
22.
Oh, okay.
It doesn't change that much. Now, if you think he's going to score 10 times, then okay, now we're getting it. That puts him in the top 12.
I think he's not getting that.
I agree.
He's not getting
and I
that.
don't think the targets are going up. If anything, they're going down. I don't think the receptions are going up. If anything, they're going down.
Mm-hmm.
Yards might, and I think 5 would have been the number I would have put on touchdowns.
All right, if you go 5 and he'd have been 22 last year, that's 10 spots higher than 10 spots higher just in wide receivers.
Agreed.
From where he's at right now.
Agreed, but then you have to really dig into what that means. The last year he would have beaten Cooper Kupp because he missed 1 billion games.
Right.
He would have been over DJ Moore, Chris Olave, Juju Smith-Schuster, all guys that I think are in better shape this year.
You think Juju's in better shape this year?
Well, they had 7 receivers last year. Have you looked at New England's receiving core? They're like one flu bug away from calling me.
Okay.
Do have good hands. Let's go. Yeah, I think his targets are going to go up. I'm not telling you his production will go up.
Right.
But his opportunity will be higher.
Okay.
Because you got a quarterback that doesn't really throw the ball well deep, and he's the slot guy. So there's just a lot of bias in that I would say his ceiling is 20 and his floor is 35.
Okay.
So I get why you said it. He just wasn't on my personal list.
Okay, fair enough.
I was more giving the devil's advocate to what you said than anything else.
Mm-hmm. We got to take a break. When we come back from the break, we'll continue.
It's weird. When we talk about fantasy football and food, we tend to just blow through breaks. Because we're fat losers.
Just fine. Now, we'll be back with the start of the third round of today's Daily Draft. It's the most underrated players in fantasy football for 2023.
This is your time saver traffic on the new ESPN Asheville.
Driving slow, 240 westbound between Charlotte Street and Montford Avenue. Future 26 westbound, light delays between Broadway Street and Elk Mountain Road. Future 26 eastbound, slowing between Riverside Drive and 240. 26 eastbound, slowing between Bavard Road and Airport Road. 26 westbound, slow between Airport Road and the Blue Ridge Parkway. Near Inca Village, Sardis Road, moving from Sand Hill Road to Bavard Road is slow. Near Avery Creek, Bavard Road north and southbound, approaching Long Shoals Road is slow. Hendersonville Road southbound slow between the Blue Ridge Parkway and Overlook Road. Sweeten Creek Road southbound slow between the Blue Ridge Parkway and Mills Gap Road. In North Asheville, Merriman Avenue northbound at Edgewood Road delays. I'm Lyndon Fuel with your Time Saver Traffic.
This report is sponsored by Lowe's. Right now at Lowe's, buy one, get one 50% off on select interior and exterior paints and exterior stains via Lowe's gift card rebate. Lowe's knows home improvement. Valid through 9/6. More terms and restrictions apply. See Lowe's.com/rebates for details. While supplies last.
Cut. Let's try something fresh like the new scratch-offs. I got it.
Tuesday. It's not Monday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. It's Tuesday.
Cut.
It's not Monday,
Aren't you a little old to be in a boy band?
There's nothing old about getting new tickets.
Well, you're right. Maybe we stick with the original track.
New tickets every first Tuesday of the month from the North Carolina Education Lottery. Must be 18 to play. Problem gambling helpline, 877-718-5543.
Clorox disinfecting wipes help clean thousands of life's messes, like mess number 5, food delivery grease spots on the kitchen counter.
Pad tie, oh my.
And mess number 41, coffee grounds that miss the filter.
Let's try this again.
And mess number 12, stepping directly into that deceivingly wet patch of grass.
Sorry, dude.
Clorox disinfecting wipes are there for you for thousands of life's messes and kill 99.9% of viruses and bacteria when used as directed. Shop now at Clorox.com. Clorox, start clean.
Gillette Intimate gives guys a gentle and easy shave on there. And around there. And even under there. Don't treat your groin like junk. Respect it with Gillette Intimate, the best a man can get. Buy now at a retailer near you.
If cleanliness is next to godliness, look around the car right now. Is that very godly? Look, life comes at you fast, but so does WNC Auto Detailing. They have the tools to make your interior look like it's coming off the showroom floor. You don't believe me? Check them out on Instagram. All that filth and years of stains disappear. WNC Auto Detailing does full interior and exterior details with paint correction, and they do wax and ceramic coatings. Call WNC Auto Detailing at 455-3700. Premium care with a Southern hospitality touch.
Real estate isn't about properties, it's about people. I'm Clarissa Hyatt-Zach with eXp Realty, your native realtor serving all of Western North Carolina. I will work hard for you, and I believe in doing the right thing every time. I market each of my listings to reach out-of-town buyers. I use a professional photographer and drone video on every single listing, as well as collaborate with agents across the country to find your buyer. Check me out online at clarissasellswnc.com or give me a call at 828-774-6343. It would be my pleasure to assist you through the real estate process.
Are you Beer City's best fantasy football player? Your chance to prove it is back. The Sportsocracy's battle for the belt is back for year 2 with 2 ways to win. Our standard contest and the new Eliminator Challenge for the most hardcore of football fans. Play fantasy football with us every week of the NFL season and compete for a cause with proceeds benefiting Eblen Charities St. Nicholas Project. Register today at thesportsocracy.com and take your shot at the title of Beer City's fantasy football champion.
The Sportsocracy.
Why are you smiling? Because I love football.
Back in the Sportsocracy on ESPN Asheville. It's the Daily Draft. Talking underrated players in fantasy football this year. First pick of the draft belonged to me. I went Dameon Pierce of the Houston Texans. Jeremy backed that or followed that up with Joe Mixon and Terry McLaurin at the turn. Then I went with Deontay Johnson. So it's time for the start of the third round here. What are you snickering at over there?
It's technology's fun. I hit a button and I have absolutely no idea what just happened. There was a dude demolished by a bull. I don't even know where it came from. Yeah. Oh, it was on my screen. Nobody could see it.
Oh.
That's what I was laughing at.
See you over there snickering.
Like,
I'm like, what did I say?
I don't know what happened here.
Did I drop another offensive joke and I didn't even know it?
No, you're fine there.
Start of the third round, underrated fantasy players this year. This is not like guys that we're going to take real high in the draft necessarily. This is just values that you can find throughout your drafting process. And this is one that last night I was sitting in my draft, and it's, I don't know, it might have been the 11th or 12th round, maybe even later than that. And I'm staring one player down, just going, please last, please last. And, of course, I got sniped on it. But it's a guy that I feel like you've thrown a lot of shade at because of his elderly statesmanhood.
Mm-hmm.
But he's in a new environment, and it's right down the road in Carolina. It's Adam Thielen. To me, I feel like there's still gas in that tank. He has sure hands, and I think in the preseason process we've seen that he is trusted by his quarterback. Bryce Young, that is his favorite little safety blanket. Or at least it was in the last preseason game. And in 2 drives, he had 4 catches and 40-something yards and a touchdown. And to me, for a late-round flyer, if I can get that out of him on a regular-ish basis, that's gonna be worth it.
I'm really not trying to cut you off. I'm going to give you my next pick.
Mm-hmm.
And as soon as I say who it is, you'll understand why I did this way.
Okay.
It's Jonathan Mingo.
Aha.
All the things that you just said, I want that out of the 21-year-old receiver. That's, to me, way better and much more likely to put up touchdowns.
Okay.
Adam Thielen could be that. I fear he's going to be the Cole Beasley of, he has 120 targets and 88 catches for 642 yards.
Right.
Woo. Are you ever going to play that? No.
You might. If you're killed by injury or something.
And I guess that's my point, is that I don't want the guy that I'm going to play because I'm killed by injury. I want the guy that has high-end upside. Jonathan Mingo has, when I was in Charlotte with the Panthers, there was not a beat writer, there was not anybody that I talked to that did not talk about Jonathan Mingo.
Mm-hmm.
And you know how much I loved him in the draft process. That was one of the only first-rounders I missed because I said he was going in the first round. He didn't. I'm still disappointed by that. But I'm glad Carolina got him because I think that's a perfect landing spot for him. And I think he really bursts onto the scene quickly. I like him a lot.
Okay.
For all of the same reasons that you just said about Adam Thielen.
Mm-hmm. I just don't know how trusted he's going to be. I mean,
he's already running with the ones.
And on the deep ball, he's the guy to have.
Exactly.
And I completely agree with you on that one. Adam Thielen, he's going to be he'll be the target monster. He'll be the catch monster. Jonathan Mingo, I agree with you. The touchdown upside is very high. All right. Your 4th round pick? Or no, I guess I get a 4th round pick.
No, that was me. You started.
Yes. Okay. All right. Good. Thanks for clearing that up.
I think mine should be I'm the tight end whisperer.
Mm-hmm.
All right. That's my name. Don't wear it out.
Pat Frymouth.
No.
Oh, okay.
I feel like I've said that name so many times that I shouldn't have to say it again.
Yes.
Chigakonkwa. Do you know how many people in the last 7 days have gone through a draft and said, hey, who's this Chigakonkwa guy that didn't get drafted in my league? Do it now. Don't think about it. Do it right now. And then they say, I've got one of these middling tight ends like Dallas Goedert. Trade him right now for somebody of equal value because you're getting an equal tight end for $0 US doll hairs. Because for whatever reason, everybody looks at that Titans offense and goes, it's terrible. I understand that. I have no doubt of that, actually. But somebody's going to catch passes. And all of you are losing your minds on middle-aged DeAndre Hopkins because he was real good at football 4 years ago. Well, guess what? Ryan Tannehill is not good at getting passes to wide receivers. You know what he is good at getting them to? Tight ends. And a lot of times it's been 3 of them with Anthony Ferkser and Jonnu Smith and Austin Hooper and whoever else is on this roster. They don't have any more. It's him. End of message, repeat the line.
Mm-hmm.
And you're getting him for free. To me, it's one of the best values in fantasy football. The only problem is if you are in a draft with somebody else that listens to this show, they've probably heard me say this 516 times as well.
And he'll be on their team at some point.
And then you may actually have to draft him.
I feel like he should be drafted.
No doubt he should be drafted.
I'm going to go back to the running back for my next selection. And it's a name that we've said several times in the run-up to this season, but I still feel like it needs to be said because, despite the fact that he will miss time, Alvin Kamara is still going way too low to me. I have little problems waiting on a running back and taking Alvin Kamara and 2 or 3 other running backs right all in this same area, and I feel just fine that I will have the upside of getting a top 10-ish performer. Do you disagree?
No, I don't disagree with anything you just said. It depends on where you're getting him. Like, your ADP on him right now is what?
58.
Overall?
Yes. That's according to Fantasy Pros.
Okay. So I'm just going to look at running backs and roughly in that range. Would you rather have 17 games of Brian Robinson or 14 of Alvin Kamara?
I think it's Alvin Kamara.
I agree with you. Would you rather have 17 games of DeAndre Swift or Alvin Kamara?
If it's 17 games?
Yes. It's Alvin Kamara.
Close.
I haven't even said
one.
it's
close.
I haven't said one yet that I think is even debatable.
If I knew DeAndre was going to be healthy for 17 games,
Seacrest out.
I think he'll get enough tote.
They have too many running backs in backfield.
Okay.
Isaiah Pacheco.
It's Alvin.
James Cook.
Alvin.
Cam Akers.
Alvin.
James Conner.
By a lot.
Yeah, you know what all these guys have in common? They're all going in front of him.
That's terrifying.
Yeah. If I get to, and I can't remember now who asked me this, but they got to a point, they said, well, I was out of options at running back, and they took Cam Akers. And my number one question, were Brian Robinson or Alvin Kamara still on the board? Well, they both were. Then you weren't out of options.
Yeah.
You just took the lesser of the 3. I agree with you wholeheartedly.
Mm-hmm.
Now, you need to take Jamal Williams, which can be a headache because you're having to take him higher than he probably should go.
Right.
But it's a high-end handcuff. That's the way I look at it. If I have to take Alvin in the end of the 5th and take Jamal in the beginning of the 7th, okay. Or end of the 7th.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I hate taking them back-to-back. I'm not that committed to it.
Right.
But I'll do it if I have to.
All right, and my final selection. I'm just going to stick with the running backs here. Based on today's news, it's Devin Achane. He and Roschon Johnson were already my 2 rookies, my 2 rookie running backs that you can wait till later in the draft to go get, and there's a chance that both of these guys are going to have huge workloads this year. We've already seen it start in Miami. Now, I don't know what the Chicago thing's going to look like, but for me, Roschon's a flyer. Because I think he's the 2 in that offense. I know he's not listed that way on the depth chart. Deontay Foreman's the 2.
I'm taking all 3 Bears running backs.
But I don't know how long that will last. They see the potential in Roschon. He could easily leapfrog Deontay Foreman, or at least be in a, 60-40 share with him if something happened to Khalil Herbert. Devin Achane, now with Jeff Wilson on IR, we're just sadly to say, but I feel like we're just a finger snap away from him being the one with Raheem Mostert's trajectory of his career. And that's one that you can pretty much wait on forever. I mean, maybe not today after today's news, but his ADP was 139, and you could get some starter potential out of that.
I feel like I have to take a quarterback because I've basically sat here and built a team. It's Deshaun Watson. He's being treated like Kirk Cousins, and he has top 5 upside. We seem to be forgetting in seasons that Deshaun Watson played all 17 games, how many times has he not been a top 5 quarterback? You want to hear the list again? Because it's been every single time.
Really?
And I think he'll do it again. The line is better. I like the weapons. It makes me like Nick Chubb less, but not tremendously less, because now there's no Kareem Hunt to be a headache there. It's Jerome Ford and Pierre Strong. I have Deshaun Watson throwing for almost 4,900 yards. And I think it's 34 touchdowns and 7 interceptions. That's really, really, really good. And all he needs is one of those quarterbacks that's going top 5 to not play 17 games, and that's enough to put him in the top 5.
Yep. All right, there you have it, the daily draft. Most underrated players in fantasy football for 2023. My 5, Dameon Pierce, Deontay Johnson, Adam Thielen, Alvin Kamara, and Devin Achane. Jeremy goes with Joe Mixon, Terry McLaurin, Jonathan Mingo, Chiga Okonkwo, and Deshaun Watson. Yeah, you did. You did, didn't you? You built a whole roster there. Good for you. It is the Sportsocracy. This is ESPN Asheville. When we come back, it's time for the most important message of the day.
This is your Exergen Temporal Scanner weather forecast on ESPN Asheville.
After some big downpours this week, it looks like things do try to dry out here in western North Carolina as we head into the weekend. Already some lower humidity has pulled into town. 50s in the mountains tonight, 60 in the valley. Partly cloudy Friday, a high of 79 degrees. Some upper 80s returning into the Labor Day forecast early next week for Monday and Tuesday. Going to be a warm stretch of weather next week for us. I'm meteorologist Scott Lauriamore. That's the latest Weather Channel forecast.
This is your time saver traffic on the new ESPN Asheville.
Traffic stop and go 240 westbound between Shuns Cove Road and Exit 3. Future 26 westbound is slowing between Broadway Street and Elk Mountain Road. Future 26 eastbound slow between Broadway Street and 240. 26 eastbound stop and go approaching Brevard Road, continuing to Long Shoals Road. 26 westbound slow between Airport Road to approaching the French Broad River. Near Inca Village, Sardis Road moving from Sand Hill Road to Brevard Road is slow. Near Avery Creek, Brevard Road north and southbound approaching Long Shoals Road is slow. Sweeten Creek Road north and southbound approaching Mills Gap Road is slow. Hendersonville Road southbound slow between Biltmore Forest and Overlook Road. In North Asheville, Merriman Avenue northbound at Edgewood Road delays. I'm Lee Minfield with your Time Saver Traffic.
This report is sponsored by Lowe's. Lowe's knows how to save pros time and money. Right now, save $50 on select DeWalt power tools. Lowe's knows savings. Lowe's knows pros. Offer valid 8/1 through 10/28.
Football's here, and missing your team's out-of-market games is not a great plan. A much better plan? Switch to My Plan from Verizon and get NFL Sunday Ticket from YouTube and YouTube TV on us with eligible phone purchase and Unlimited Plus. That's a value of up to $449. Get every out-of-market game every Sunday afternoon. Switch to My Plan at your Verizon store today. It's your last chance to get NFL Sunday Ticket from YouTube and YouTube TV on us with eligible phone purchase and Unlimited Plus. Offer ends soon. $449 value applies to NFL Sunday Ticket season 23-24 only. Additional terms and embargoes apply to NFL Sunday Ticket on YouTube. No refunds.
Tired of getting dinged by monthly fees on your checking account? You need Simple Checking from Home Trust Bank. With Simple Checking, you get all the essential checking services for free, including 100% online access and a free Visa debit card. It's everything you need from a checking account, but no hoops, no surprises, no monthly fees. Stop by today or call 800-627-1632. Simple Checking at Home Trust. Ready for what's next. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
We're back counting down to kickoff. Let's look at today's 3 keys to premium pre-gaming with Beast Unleashed, presented by Monster Brewing. Number 1, beat the heat.
Unleash the beast with bold, familiar flavors, 0 caffeine, and 0 sugar.
Number 2, running the option.
There's 4 to choose from: White Haze, Peach Perfect, Scary Berries, and my personal favorite, Mean Green.
And number 3, at 6% ABV, Max Protect.
Always drink responsibly, and you must be 21 or over.
Beast Unleashed, available at your local retailer. It's ESPN Asheville. Time for the most important message of the day, Jeremy Greene.
Don't do crimes!
Yeah, I'm going to go over to London for this one. Over in the, well, not London, it's in the UK, where there is just a terrible, terrible, awful person walking around free today.
Oh, you said in London?
And yes.
And you said terrible, awful? I thought you were going to be talking about dental hygiene.
Well, I mean, this guy falls into the category. The suspect is described as a slim, white, and aged in his 20s with light brown eyes and yellow teeth. Yep. Essex police are on the lookout for this guy because over the last several months, he's just been doing something that is awful. You ever heard the phrase taking candy from a baby?
Yes.
Yeah. This guy hasn't been stealing candy from babies. He's been stealing their pacifiers. On 4 separate occasions between February of this year and early this month, the same guy, according to police, they have not caught him and they do not have a good, clearly a description of him, since all they have is, hey, he's a skinny white guy in his 20s with yellow teeth. I mean, that narrows it down to what? Half the population of the UK? Yeah, 4 different occasions. He has just walked by kids in their strollers and stolen what they call their dummies out of their mouths.
That's
I don't know why you call it a dummy. I had to look it up because I was thinking it was like dum-dums, like little suckers. Like he was actually stealing candy from babies. But no, I had to go look it up, and apparently dummy is the slang term for a pacifier. Or what'd you call it? What'd you call it with your kids? Did your kids have pacifiers?
Yeah, it was passy.
It was a passy?
Yeah,
okay.
passy.
That's good.
I didn't like them when I was a kid.
Some people call them bankies. There's all kinds of weird slang for it. I've never heard dummy used before, but there again, I'm not British. So
my story actually also includes a dummy, but it takes a minute to get there. My story is about one Nika Nakubin. She is a Texas woman, and she says she is bipolar and schizophrenic.
Okay.
Nothing to be joked about there, except for the fact that she is bipolar and schizophrenic when it seems to benefit her.
Ah, yes.
Because she told police that she was hallucinating that she was Selma Hayek's character from Dusk Till Dawn when she lured a man to a Las Vegas hotel room for sexual favors and then stabbed him in the neck with a knife.
Oh!
Apparently they were having their own moment, blindfolded him, stabbed him in the neck with a knife.
Jeez.
Now, here's my question. What do you think she was charged with in this particular crime?
Well, normally that would be...
hold on. Before you answer that, let me give you a little bit more information and see if maybe this helps.
Okay.
She told investigators that while she was being interrogated that she was trying to seek revenge for General Soleimani's execution in 2020, which she then later said was total lie, and that she was channeling another actress, Claire Danes from Homeland. Apparently, she likes to act a lot.
Yeah, I'm going to say that's an attempted murder charge.
That was what she was charged with originally, but this has now been adjudicated.
All right, so at least assault with a deadly weapon.
Well, you would think that, wouldn't you? Her final charge was unlawful detainment, and she will serve 3 years of probation. I hate to say this in the segment every single day. What are we doing? She lured him to Las Vegas and tried to cut his head off, and she got 3 years probation. We are turning into Mad Max all of a sudden.
Okay, she's from Texas.
Yes.
The crime happened in Las Vegas.
Yes.
Okay, so that's where I was
Which
confused.
should, by the way, mean this is a federal crime because you went across state lines.
No, only if she took him across state lines.
Not necessarily, because she used the internet to get him there, which is a federal statute.
Well, okay, I could see. All right. That could have been a possibility. If this had happened in the jurisdiction of the state of Texas, I have a feeling that the charges would have been much different. In Nevada, there's a whole mess of crazy people doing crazy things. This probably doesn't even register on the police radar in Las Vegas.
I mean, don't do crimes.
'Tis but a scratch, apparently.
And by the way, stop meeting people on the internet. I've stopped hearing good stories of, hey, me and Dave met online and now we're married. Now it's like, hey, I met Dave online and he tried to take pictures of my feet with his cell phone. Don't do that. Maybe just start a conversation with somebody at the coffee shop. Maybe stop doing things online.
Yes.
Because people are crazy online.
All right, you are in the Sportsocracy. This is ESPN Asheville. Cooper Kupp. He's suffered a setback now. They're saying he is now day-to-day with a hamstring injury. How big of a deal is this?
Depends on what you're asking.
Okay, this was a terrible team, so we know that this isn't going to affect many wins and losses. They were going to be a 4-win team with him probably.
Yes.
Maybe a little better. Without him, hey, you can go get that number 1 pick. You can maybe keep Caleb Williams in Los Angeles if you're not going to have Cooper Kupp. But for your fantasy purposes, Cooper Kupp, I was reading earlier today, Cooper Kupp, some believe still needs to be the second wide receiver off the board because of the bevy of targets that he's going to get. He's the only weapon that they have. He was last year, and he was phenomenal until he got hurt. So, how big of a deal is this for fantasy?
I really struggle to trust anything with the Rams, whether it's Matthew Stafford, Cooper Kupp, because I just don't know when you shut this down. This team's not good, period. And I don't know what you're going to get out of him. All right, so now we're already talking about he's day-to-day, may not be ready for week 1. Let's say he comes back for 8 weeks and has another hiccup. They're going to shelve him the minute that happens.
You would think.
Why would you
But what
not?
are you planning for? My question is, what are you planning for? Are you planning for this team to be better next year? Are we just going to shut him down?
They're going to have a ton of money. Let me ask you a fun question about the Los Angeles Rams. How much money does their entire the salary of this team? How much does it cost?
I
mean, the cap's $221 million.
Yeah.
How much are they paying in player salaries to players that are on the roster?
$230 million.
145.
Oh,
they have
really?
$75 million in dead cap.
Really?
I've never seen a number that high.
Wow.
21.4 to Allen Robinson, 19.6 to Jalen Ramsey, 19 to Leonard Floyd. Now, I'll be honest with you, I'm almost to the point of trade him. Take the dead cap hit. Take it. Trade him.
Well, what are you going to get out of
I
it?
don't care.
Oh, okay.
He's 30 years old. You're not going to be good in 1 year. This roster is awful. But you're going to have a lot of money next year. Swallow the frog. Deal with it now. Because I don't see a reason to trot him out on the field. I can't find one. Matthew Stafford, I don't see a reason to trot him out there. Oh, Stetson Bennett's awful. I agree with you. I want to be bad. because I have just completely Stone Cold Steve Austin double-birded the NFL draft for years.
Right.
And now I have a roster that looks like it belongs in the XFL.
Yeah. I just have a problem taking older players and just shelving them because we're bad. Well, you're not going to be good next year either.
So, I mean, what is the advantage of putting more tread on his tires anyway? Cooper Kupp was old when he got in this league.
Yes.
He's 30 years old right now.
Mm-hmm. And I don't feel like there's a great advantage to holding him for next year. It just doesn't make sense to me.
So you want to trot him out there in absolutely meaningless games?
We're here to win. I got to go out there and try
we're
to
here
win
to
games.
win. You have 3 players that belong in the NFL. Period. I don't see it that way. I will get you've gutted this whole roster.
Mm-hmm. But the best you're going to get for Cooper Kupp is what? A 5th, 4th round pick, maybe.
I don't know.
A 30-year-old wide receiver who's banged up already.
I don't know. I
don't think that you're getting what you want out of him.
Who, oh, by the way, is really expensive.
Mm-hmm.
But there's only $20 million in guaranteed salary left after this year. So a team might give you – I don't know.
Maybe they will.
There's enough non-guaranteed here that you could probably get something for him. But trying him out there in L.A., it doesn't make any sense.
Mm-hmm.
Now, you ask me what it means for fantasy. It means I'm not going to touch Cooper Kupp.
No.
I'm just not. I'll let somebody else fall on that sword.
Yep.
Could it bite me? Sure. Do I see any path that he – I projected him as the number 2 or 3 receiver in fantasy football if everything was even, but it's not. He's one of the only players in the draft kit that's highlighted red of disregard this.
Yeah.
This is his high side. It does not mean that's going to happen because I can't find a path that he plays 17 games. Now, if he were to be moved, now we could talk. You tell me he ends up with, I don't know, maybe the New York Jets.
Oh, God.
I'm saying, could use a slot receiver.
Y'all don't need a receiver. You're going to run the ball all the time.
We are going to run the ball a lot. But it never hurts to have another one, especially if the Rams are going to pay some of his salary. We'll give you one of those lovely draft picks that you didn't care anything about for 1 billion years. Yeah, for fantasy, there is not a Ram that I am even vaguely interested in. Now, if you're playing Dynasty or something like that, Puka Nacua is a receiver that I'm vaguely interested in because I think he's the Cooper Kupp replacement. And this is going to go bad in a hurry. I mean, I'm not trying to throw shade here at the Rams. It's just this is what you get. All right, when they make their draft pick next year, the last time they made a draft pick, that kid was in middle school.
Oh, in the first round?
Yeah. Whoever they take next year with their first-round pick, that kid was in middle school the last time they made a first-round pick. This is what you get.
Mm-hmm.
And there's no team. I mean, for me, I look at Stafford. Yeah, I'd love to trade him. Who's going to take him on? I'd love to trade Cooper Kupp. Frankly, I'd love to trade Aaron Donald. Aaron Donald deserves to be traded because now you got these 3 vet guys that, yes, you're paying $1 bajillion to. But they're not playing for anything.
Mm-hmm.
And if you look at how much money that – point of curiosity, who's the 4th highest paid player on this team?
Oh.
Donald's 1, Stafford's 2, Cooper Kupp's 3.
Higbee?
He's 5. 4 and 6 play the same position.
Noteboom?
He's 6.
Havenstein.
He's 4. $9.7 million. Brian Allen and Jordan Fuller are 7 and 8.
Okay.
Kevin Dotson that they just got from the Pittsburgh Steelers is 9. That's not a good roster.
No, you're not good.
And so really you're just banging your head against the wall no matter what you do with Cooper Kupp. So I don't know. This is why I'm paid to be a talk show host, not be a GM, because I would never let a roster get to this point. You always say that 1 Super Bowl was worth it. Maybe if my team ever wins one, I'll agree with you. I can't agree with it because I'm looking at a roster that what do you have to do to become relevant again?
Burn it down. You got to burn it down and start all over again.
And then how long does that take?
Much longer than Sean McVay is going to hang around for.
I'll ask you a different question. this is the 2023 NFL football season.
Mm-hmm.
When is the next time the Los Angeles Rams win more than 8 games?
I'll say 2027.
I will say you're out of your mind, and I will bet you it starts with a 2, a 0, and a 3. That's how bad this roster is. I've never seen anything like it. This is almost like a Major League Baseball team that went all in on a World Series and just burned the farm system down. You don't have anything to hang your hat on.
Mm-hmm.
And so when you say burn it down, this is not Houston Texans burn it down, where you had Jalen Petrie and a couple linemen and a couple other players that you look at and go, well, they could be pieces. I could make a case that nobody on this 53-man roster will be here the next time they're even relevant. That's how bad this roster is. I've never seen anything like it.
You're in the Sportsocracy. This is ESPN Asheville, 92.9 FM, 880 AM and 1400.
This is your time saver traffic on the new ESPN Asheville.
Driving slow, 240 westbound between Shuns Cove Road and Exit 3. 240 on the eastbound side, slow between Exit 3 and Exit 4A. 26 eastbound, stop and go between I-40 and Bavard Road. Again, 26 eastbound slowing beginning at the French Broad River and continuing to Airport Road. 26 westbound, stop and go between Airport Road and the Blue Ridge Parkway. 40 westbound delays between the 26-240 split, Malfunction Junction, and Smoky Park Highway. Sardis Road northbound slow between Bavard Road and Sand Hill Road. Hendersonville Road southbound slow between Biltmore Forest and Overlook Road. Sweeten Creek Road north and southbound approaching Mills Gap Road is slow. Avery Creek area, Bavard Road southbound is slow between the Blue Ridge Parkway to just south of Long Shoals Road. I'm Lee Minfield with your Time Saver Traffic.
This report is sponsored by Taco Bell. The Beefy Crunch Burrito is back at Taco Bell, thanks to rewards members who voted for it on the Taco Bell app. Filled with seasoned beef and flamin' hot Fritos, it's as crunchy and beefy as it sounds, and as delicious as a vote winner should be. Get one today at participating Taco Bell locations while supplies last.
Gillette Intimate gives guys a gentle and easy shave on there. And around there, and even under there. Don't treat your groin like junk. Respect it with Gillette Intimate, the best a man can get. Buy now at a retailer near you.
We said 1,500 hours.
Dax's hangar flies high thanks to his military precision.
Rob, you copy?
He wants to land some aircraft mechanics, preferably with a military background.
Okay, I wasn't aware of a new timeline. Cancel. Stand by for new assignments.
Indeed can help him hire great people fast.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. Our hiring platform instantly connects you with quality candidates, and you can schedule and conduct virtual interviews right from the Indeed dashboard. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
Rogue Combat Club, Asheville's home for comprehensive martial arts training, has a goal for our community, one that's stronger, more fit, and unwavers in its support of one another. Rogue Combat Club's instructors have competed at the highest levels and offer classes for everyone from young children to adults in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, Muay Thai, and wrestling. Rogue Combat Club classes can help you boost your self-confidence and self-defense skills while weeding out the egos and intimidation found at other gyms. Join today at RogueCombatClub.com.
I believe real estate isn't about properties. It's about people. I'm Clarissa Hyatt Zach with eXp Realty, serving all of Western North Carolina. Navigating the home buying and selling journey can feel overwhelming at times, and that's why having an agent who cares about you and your needs is key. I'm a native of Western North Carolina, and I close over a home a week. I'm an expert in the market, pricing my sellers correctly to net you the most money, and working as a skilled negotiator for my buyers. Please give me a call today at 828-774-6343 to set up a complimentary market analysis.
At Ingles, we're proud to sponsor area athletics at all levels. Whether we're building new fields for T-ball, celebrating Friday night rivals, televising college basketball games, bringing the Fan Fest to semi-pro soccer, or taking you out to the ball game at your minor league park. We're here for the fans. No one gets the dedication to the home team like you guys. And we've got all the sports you can handle. It's all in the bag. Ingles. Low prices. Love the savings.
It's ESPN Asheville. This is the Sportsocracy. And we weren't going to leave without saying goodbye because we want you to be sure to be here tomorrow, 3 o'clock, for a
Football Friday.
Yeah, we got bangers lined up for you, or Jeremy's got the bangers lined up for you tomorrow.
We're breaking out a new thing. Only bangers?
Yeah.
What's up?
Can't wait. You'll have all 3 bangers segments tomorrow with all the picks from the weekend. We'll look ahead to the weekend, tell you where we would go in the daily draft, and who knows what other shenanigans we'll get into as we await the kickoff of not only the college season for your team, but the NFL season coming up next week. Don't forget to get in on the battle for the belt. Links to the DFS contest with us that you can play each and every week on the sportsocracy.com and in the YouTube videos. We'll see you tomorrow at 3.
This is your Exergen Temporal Scanner weather forecast on ESPN Asheville.
After some big downpours this week, it looks like things do try to dry out here in western North Carolina as we head into the weekend. Already some lower humidity has pulled into town. 50s in the mountains tonight, 60 in the valley. Partly cloudy Friday, a high of 79 degrees. Some upper 80s returning into the Labor Day forecast early next week for Monday and Tuesday. Going to be a warm stretch of weather next week for us. I'm meteorologist Scott Lauriamore. That's the latest Weather Channel forecast.
This report is sponsored by Staples Stores. Staples has everything you need for the office and the classroom for less. Now save even more with $10 off document printing when you spend $40 or more. Offer ends 9/30. Exclusions and restrictions apply. See associate or visit staples.com/printing for details.
Foo Fighters,
Fall Out Boy,
Kelly Clarkson,
Kane Brown,
Lil Wayne, Lil Durk,
Lenny Kravitz,
Miguel,
Public Enemy,
Sheryl Crow,
Travis Scott,
Tim McGraw,
TLC,
30 Seconds to Mars.
Get your tickets now.
iHeartRadio Music Festival.
AXS.com.
From the Ingles Studios, this is ESPN Asheville, WPEK, W225CJ Fairview, WMXF Wayne.